Talking Ball Yall Media proudly brings to you Friday Night Gridiron, powered by Diamond Productions. Their motto is, we don't set the bar, we raise it. Now let's head out to the stadium and join the voice of the Maroon Tide, Clay Sweet and Ricky Whitaker.
Welcome into Lee Triplett Stadium, week one of this 2026 campaign for your Picayune Maroon Tide. Clay Sweet, along with Ricky Whitaker to my right, just where I like him on a Friday night to get things started slick. It's been a while. Last time we left off was in that dungeon booth up in Hattiesburg on a tough night for the Tide, but what gets lost in that is that was a South State berth, and just exactly how tough it is to even make it to that ball game. And Tide with a good year in 2025. Gulfport with a great year in 2025. Ended their season with a state title and all that comes with a last-second, not really a Hail Mary, but pretty close to that to win it against Tupelo on the 7A ranks. And then, of course, Cody has them coming to our house tonight, has Jackson Academy, who won the private school classification in our state, coming next week. So Cody's got us loaded up for two good ones to get things started. Welcome in, Ricky Whitaker.
I always enjoy being here next to you, my man. And I tell you what, boy, at 91 degrees at kickoff here is what we're looking at on the old Weather Channel app. And the feels like temp, 103. I think we felt that even setting up. But, boy, you look at these two programs, Clay, and really what this game is going to do for both of them. It's a mutual respect between the two coaches for sure. They really judge this game as a temperature gauge for where their teams are at. We heard Coach Pinnock mention that. He really gauges the physicality, the way Picayune plays is seeing where his team is. And, I thought it was interesting, Clay, when we sat down with both of these guys this past week and talked to them, two offensive guys. You got an offensive lineman in Coach Stogner, and he was a good one, and an offensive-minded guy. They talked a lot about defense, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they really did. And what's the old cliche, Rick, that you hear time and time again?
Offense sells tickets. Defense wins championships, my man. That's
exactly right. And they seem to be, like most cliches, a lot of truth inside of those. Kind of tell us, Rick, what you expect if we're going to camp out defensively, which we've gone to. Kind of tell us what you expect from both sides. Let's start with the visiting Admirals, and you kind of tell me what you expect to see from them defensively tonight.
Well, we had a change at the coordinator, Zach Green. He goes to Pascagoula. In comes Benji Merchant. The news around Gulfport, at least the feel that you get, is it was a home run hire. You got a guy that was a former coordinator. He's got 3 championships, been to places like West Jones, Jefferson Davis, and Oak Grove. Now, Gulfport ran a 4-4 last year. We may see some 3-4 look. That's going to be interesting. But, boy, what comes back is those anchors on that defensive line. Coach Pinnock said defensive line and secondary is going to be their strengths on defense. You got big Nick Strickland, 300-pounder coming back. Lawrence Robertson, they call him Juice. Those two guys are going to be the anchor there. And then you got a incoming sophomore who's already a 4-star named Jordan Fernandez. He'll be in number 99 tonight. They call him Milk. That front line is going to be solid.
And that's a good thing to have, of course, against the heavy rush attack from our Picayune Maroon Tide. If you're joining us on the booth cam, we appreciate that. The link to the live stream and the view out on the field for the YouTube channel is hopefully in the comments. If it's not, if you could help us out there, that's where you want to be watching. We kind of use this booth cam as a commercial to lead you over to our YouTube channel. Subscribe over there, see the action on the field, see the camera work of Jackson Harrelson up top on our Diamond Productions live stream. You're here in middle of our Mossy of Picayune pregame show. Rick, you told us about the visiting defense. What about the Picayune Maroon Tide and their defense this season?
I think that what we've been hearing, Clay, is they feel really good about the secondary that they're going to have this year. Some depth there, and I'll go to what Coach Stogner brought out. He feels pretty good with the improvement he's seen and what's going to be a deep group at linebacker. He said it. We didn't tackle well last year at times. That's the group that I'm going to be paying attention to. Defensive line, that's going to be a good spot, too, for Picayune. And here's what I'm looking for. I think the one question mark, if Gulfport had one, was their offensive line. We know they'll be good, they'll be big, but can we put some pressure on that O-line?
Yeah, we've got two really good coaches on display in front of us tonight. Both of these teams will be coached up. Well, we'll tell you more by way of a graphic when we return on our Mossy of Picayune pregame show. When we return, we'll get a look at our two head coaches for tonight's action after this 2-minute break.
Thanks for stopping by Mossy of Picayune. We're proud to be your family-owned GM Superstore, serving Mississippi and Louisiana with new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here, you're more than just a customer, you're part of the Mossy family. We offer a family-friendly atmosphere backed by GM-certified parts and service and a team that's here to help you every step of the way. At Mossy of Picayune, it's small-town friendly service with big-time savings.
It feels good to buy local. Whether you're supporting your community small businesses, family-owned restaurants, or Farm Bureau Insurance, the local agents at Farm Bureau Insurance are dedicated to always helping you protect what's important. Farm Bureau Insurance is headquartered right here in Mississippi, with local agents in your community. If you're shopping for car, home, or life insurance, or a new health plan in the Poplarville area, call Kate Amaker at 601-795-4585. Or, if you're in the Picayune Carrier area, call Colin Pinton, Colby Hawthorne, or me, Ross Gilbo, at 601-798-2861. And go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau Casualty, Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi.
A lot goes into powering this community. That's why your Touchstone Energy Cooperative wants you to know we've got you. It's a pledge to make sure you're always taken care of. A pledge we honor every day. From our member service representatives to our linemen and those making sure the power you use is there when you need it. We've got you. Always.
Brought to you by Coast Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
So we promised you on the other side of this break we would get a look at tonight's head ball coaches from each side. And Ricky Whitaker, our graphic designer and producer and everything else for our podcast and broadcast, was able to put together a graphic showing just what Coach Blake Pinnock and Cody Stogner have been able to accomplish here leading these two fine programs.
Yeah, when you look at this, their records, Clay, and for Coach Stogner, it's all been at Picayune. He's entered his 7th season now at the helm of the Maroon Tide. Coach Pinnock, hey, he spent 1 year at Pass Christian, was at a few years at Ocean Springs, and now at Gulfport. But, boy, you look at those wins, especially what they've done in the district. They have dominated the district, and state championships aren't easy to come by. And they both got those under their belts as well.
Yeah, just look at that, Rick. And when you look at it, I'm going to say two younger coaches. That kind of still makes me and you feel young. But these guys haven't been doing it for all that long to be able to accumulate nearly 70 wins apiece. And, of course, that bottom line, the 2 gold balls for Cody, the 1 for Blake. These guys can really, really do it. It was neat. You never know how things are going to work out. Got a chance to see Cam Akers live and in person. Was up there covering Poplarville at the time in a state championship the night before. Cam Akers put on a show in a state title game. Blake Pinnock was, of course, his OC at the time. Cam Akers, a NFL player after his times at Florida State, and who knows, Cody may have a pipeline that's eventually going to get him an NFL player or two, but he's had some real good backs in his own right involved in those 2 state title runs.
Oh, he certainly has, man. And you mentioned, too, I mean, Bray Hubbard, we've seen what he's done in the SEC, another guy that's probably going to be NFL bound very soon. But, yeah, a couple guys, a lot of respect for each other, and, you got a lot to play for both of these teams. for Gulfport coming in, it's similar to Picayune last year. Picayune had that revenge on their mind because they had been beat at home the year prior. That's Gulfport tonight. They want to come in and avenge that loss from last year. And for the Maroon Tide, if you can't get up to play the reigning champs from 7A, something's wrong with you. You might need to check your blood pressure. So both these teams got to come out and play really, really hard tonight.
Yeah, that's certainly what we expect to see. On the other side of this break, we'll hear what Cody Stogner expects out of his club. And then one of my favorite segments is to hear kind of Ricky Glenn's thoughts, Ricky Whitaker's thoughts on what he heard from Cody. We'll have that on the other side of this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to the Mossy of Picayune pregame show.
Tim Craft Health Benefits, located at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune, inside Stewart Insurance Agency, is a locally owned and operated Medicare health plan and health insurance business serving Mississippi and Louisiana for 2 decades. Our 15-year presence in downtown Picayune ensures that important decisions such as your health care, your transition to Medicare, and your Medicare journey are made in person at our office with Tim and his staff. Our office is open Monday through Friday and offers our clients a location to visit for the initial appointment and service after the sale. We have health insurance plans to fit all situations and budgets, from ACA marketplace plans to off-exchange fully underwritten PPO policies. Tim can get you covered. Looking for the right Medicare plan? Tim is appointed with all the supplement, advantage, and prescription drug companies in Mississippi and Louisiana. And since every situation is different, we make sure that you choose the plan that best fits your needs. Consultations are always free. Schedule today at 601-273-0649 or stop by our office at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune. Tim Craft Health Benefits, serving Mississippi and Louisiana for all your Medicare health plan needs. Hunter Gill Construction LLC is a licensed Mississippi home builder that specializes in new construction, roofing, and remodeling across the Mississippi Gulf Coast and surrounding areas. At Hunter Gill Construction, they are incredibly grateful for their clients who trust them to bring their visions to life. From the first conversation to the final details, their goal is to always provide quality work, clear communication, and an experience their clients can feel good about. Look them up on Facebook at Hunter Gill Construction LLC or give Hunter a call at 601-916-4554.
With Cody Stogner, as usual. Cody, this never gets old, man. Week 1, y'all been banging on one another in this hot summer heat, and now you get a chance to see a different uniform, an opponent in front of you. What's the excitement level coming into this one?
I mean, the excitement level is at an all-time high, because we've been waiting a long time to get back to this date right here, and, it's nothing better than an opening night during football season, and what better way to start it than going against the defending 7A state champs, to kind of see how well we coach and how well we prepared. So it's going to be a great night of football. It's going to be hot, but it's going to be still a great night of football.
Really good opponent, as you said, defending 7A state champs come in for the Admirals. Coach Pennick, you're accustomed to him, saw him over at Ocean Springs, at Gulfport as well. What do you kind of expect from them tonight offensively?
Well, I mean, Coach Pennick believes in what they do. You're going to see this young quarterback handle his offense, I'm sure, fairly well. And obviously, they're going to be big up front and a big running back. They moved one of the linebackers to running back, and he's a big old dude. And obviously, they added a new H-back. I mean, you're looking at him over here right now. He's a big old, tall, drink of water right now. That's a big old dude, man. But, I mean, they're what they advertise. You're looking at them, they're walking off the bus. They are what they advertise. And I fully expect them to be, a very physical football team, especially especially on defense. They returning about 7 or 8 starters over there, and just anytime Coach Penny gets a hold of a team, I mean, they're all well coached, and I think it's going to be a great night. So we'll see how it unfolds here in a couple hours.
Yeah, it's fun to see the respect y'all two have for one another. Coach, you got a chance to brag on your group on the podcast. I'll let you do it again. The hard work that's been put in since we last saw y'all in the spring game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this group of guys we have here. They've put in so much, effort and time in this all season to better themselves and better this program. And I'm very grateful to just be a small part of their lives, because they're making me better as a person just by seeing them work and the dedication they have toward this Picayune football program. So I'm hoping, that, us coaches don't get in their way, and hoping we can just fly around and play Picayune football tonight.
We were talking about a lot of good opportunities going to be out here tonight. Last time that you played this many young folks was a really, really good sophomore class that we can all remember. But those 10th graders going to be leaned on heavy this season.
Yeah, they are. But you know what? It's still a football. It's still a 48-minute football game. The field's still 100 yards, and it's 11 on 11. We wouldn't have them out there. We didn't trust them. And you can't tell them, hey, you're just a sophomore. I mean, they play a little bit older than what they are, a little bit more mature. But I think that it comes down to having the senior leadership ahead of them, rubbing off on these young guys. And, there's no, I'm a 10th grader, I'm 11th grader, I'm a 12th graders. Are we a football player? And I think that's what I got a team full of.
Coach, if Greg Ducker's getting you and you're in a good mood, and a couple of hours from now, post this game, what's some things that probably went right for the Tide tonight?
I think it's just controlling everything we can control, staying on sides, not turning the ball over, and really, playing against a team like Gulfport. We're not going to be mistake-free tonight, but we got to be real close to being mistake-free and just playing with great effort. That's what I want to see tonight. Are we going to play with great effort and great energy and fly around for 48 minutes? Adversity's going to hit at times tonight, I think, for both sides, because it's game one. Some bad things are going to happen. How are we going to respond when that bad thing happens? Are we going to lay our heads down, or are we going to pick ourselves up and move on to the next play? That's one thing I'm most look forward to see how we handle those situations.
Coach, always appreciate your time. Good luck tonight.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide, roll.
So there, Ricky Whitaker, get a chance to hear from Cody. That's always a special segment of our Mossy Picayune pregame show. What'd you hear from Cody during that interview?
I love his reference of, past classes essentially paying it forward. These young guys seeing that leadership that's really been a theme here. We've seen that. Those young guys coming up, relying on the leaders ahead of them, that junior and senior class. And then I love what he said. It's really simple, but it makes a lot of sense. He wants to see good effort. I think he's talking about the defense tonight. Good effort, being where they're supposed to be. You're going to make mistakes, but you got to limit them. You can't have a ton of penalties, can't have a ton of offsides and any of those garbage-type plays like that that's going to set you backwards. And then he mentioned a couple of guys, Clay, that we'll talk about briefly as well. The quarterback he mentioned, that he's going to be in number 5 tonight. That's a sophomore guy that you got to see last year in the freshman championship. His name's Jackson Wolverton. He'll be wearing number 5 tonight. Good-looking kid, 6 foot 185. He's replacing Parker Nettle, so getting his first action tonight in that tall drink of water he mentioned, a guy that we've talked about as well, and he is going to be a good one at tight end. 6'7", 265 is where Mr. Trevor Foss is listed as, and he'll be in number 10 tonight. So a couple of weapons and a seasoned group of receivers that's going to be helping out Jackson Wolverton tonight as well.
Yeah, how ironic, really, when you look at it, Rick. 2 basketball kids. You would call them that a year ago, and Frost, and then for Picayune, Jeremiah Mark is what he's listed at on our roster, and both, since have donned the pads, have gotten any offer they would want, literally. Frost for Gulfport's going to pick and choose where he wants. He's a junior. Jerry Mark's going to pick and choose where he wants. Unfortunately for the Tide, he's a senior, but neither one of these were doing football a year ago. It's been really remarkable to watch their stories unfold.
100%, man. And I tell you, another guy that I'll be looking for tonight on the Gulfport offense, that's a young man with a heck of a pedigree. He'll be wearing number 1. That's Seneca Taylor Jr. I mentioned 3 wide receivers that are seniors coming back. That's Hills, Morgan, and Stubbs. But he'll work in, too, and he's actually the bigger of the wide receivers. He's going to be fun to watch tonight as well.
Yeah, that group of wide receivers, you and I were trading text earlier in the week. may be the best group of wide receivers across the whole state, in my opinion. Now, they'll have a sophomore quarterback in Wolverton. We've talked about him plenty tonight. That's going to play point guard. He's a basketball kid, ironically enough. Won a ninth grade championship both at the quarterback position and on the basketball court, just kind of following along with what that ninth grade group, him, and then you mentioned Taylor. For those maybe not as long in the tooth, that Seneca Taylor name, and then the junior that's behind it, senior, was a monster, was an absolute handful, an Ole Miss guy that was able to play two sports. That just doesn't happen in Division I at all. He was able to do it in the SEC. Son's a great-looking football player. This wide receiver group for Gulfport is loaded. Tide going to be without Moto tonight. Jamari Hathorne, potentially our best defensive back, going to be out of tonight's ball game. We'll tell you more about that after we break for the anthem. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Gulf Coast and surrounding areas. At Hunter Gill Construction, they are incredibly grateful for their clients who trust them to bring their visions to life. From the first conversation to the final details, their goal is to always provide quality work, clear communication, and an experience their clients can feel good about. Look them up on Facebook at Hunter Gill Construction LLC or give Hunter a call at 601-916-4554.
When life throws you the unexpected, you need a legal team you can trust. Turn to Alexander & Cruz, your hometown law firm proudly serving Picayune and the surrounding communities. Conveniently located at 1016 6th Avenue, they're here to help with estate planning, probate, personal injury, and both civil and criminal matters. Get the guidance and representation you deserve from a team that knows your community. Call Alexander & Cruz today at 769-242-2500. That's 769-242-2500. Alexander & Cruz, local attorneys, trusted results.
Protecting your personal belongings is a basic human instinct. You've worked hard for what you have. At Executive Storage, we are dedicated to providing you true, secure storage options and peace of mind. With 2 convenient locations to choose from, you can trust us to protect your personal, family, and business assets. Give us a call today at 601-798-4000 and let us help you protect your most prized possessions.
Back here at Lee Triplett Stadium as the Tide have made their way out of the locker room. Ricky Whitaker, they're going to be in maroon bottoms, maroon tops, trimmed out in white, that beautiful maroon headgear for the Tide, white numerals. And this is kind of an old classic, in my opinion. The uniform game is Gulfport going to be in those blue and orange bottoms, white tops, blue numerals trimmed out in orange. That orange headgear with that Green Bay Packer type G. And this is an old classic type uniform night when you look at what was back in the Big 8, maybe back in our dad's age, Big Rick, and then my father, who both played for the Maroon Tide. Gulfport used to dress a lot of folks back in that day, Slick. Some things never change. They've brought a bunch of them to Picayune, Mississippi tonight, and some good-looking ones as well. Tide have done a good job with their bodies over the summer, Rick. You've heard Ricky, you've heard Cody tell you and me a couple different times how well the off-season workouts were attended, and some youngins that grew. That's always a good sign, and they've waited a long, hot summer for this night.
Yes, they have, man. And, boy, look at these captains as they come out, guys that we got to see for a long time. From the Maroon Tide, we're going to have Eddie Cruz, Jacob Nixon. Going to have a young man I'm looking forward to seeing tonight, Clay. I ain't going to lie. A.K. Burnett at that fullback position. Love the number. Love the kid. Love the position change. Excited about him. And Zay Dennis. a young man who had a pretty good night a year ago against this Gulfport defense. Went for 155 yards on 22 carries, about 7 yards per carry, so a good night for him. And I'll say this, Clay, looking at the similarities, you got a new quarterback in his first start, similar to what Nettle said. I think we're going to see a Gulfport offense operate similarly to as it did last year. If you remember back, the first play of the game was a screen. It was their biggest play of the game, and it was taken by one of those receivers we mentioned. Took it a 45-yard play. That's an easy play. It's a quick pitch and catch. I think we'll see things like that. And Picayune's got to have to keep an eye on the young man that's replacing Crosby, and he led the pack out here. He was the first in line coming on the field. That's number 2, Amaje Fredericks, 6 foot, 200-pound kid. They like to use their backs out of the backfield as well. We got to have our eyes and heads on a swivel tonight.
Yeah, Frederick, from all regards, had a little over 200 yards rushing a year ago. Set behind a stud, right? And Cooper Crosby, he was a real player a year ago for Gulfport. We've talked about the wide receiver group for the Admirals. The Tide in their own right returning. We talked about Cooper Crosby. As good as Cooper was a year ago, I wouldn't have traded him for our guy, and he's back. Zay Dennis, almost 3,000 total yards, nearly 40 touchdowns. Zay9 combined for a year ago. A special junior year. He'll have a chance to cap it off here with a senior year. And he's got A.K. Burnett right in front of him, who played, as you said, Rick, was a guard. He's going to know how to block, but he's a bowling ball. He can really run. Just to tell you a bit about his speed, Rick, he was on the baseball team. He was chosen to be a runner at times for the baseball squad. That just kind of speaks to Mr. Burnett's speed. He's going to play the game with a certain motor, certain energy. Ty going to get it first. And this is going to be a pretty good kicking game for Gulfport. It normally is. You'll hear me say this a lot. Normally, good soccer programs across the state produce good special teams in high school football. Not going to be any different for Gulfport tonight. They're going to be able to kick it. That's going to be Shaw Killebrew, a 6 foot, 165-pound junior who's going to tee it up. Back deep for the Tide tonight. That's going to be a sophomore that's going to sneak back there for your Maroon Tide. He's going to be dressed in 6. That's Zayden Foxworth. To his left is Zay Dennis. You don't want to mess with either Zays here. Zayden going to get the full name treatment until Mr. Dennis moves on, as we'll call Zay Dennis, but this will be Zayden Foxworth catching it at the 2. Looking for some room. Not a lot there, but he's made a good cut. 25. Go ahead, Foxworth. 40. Look, he's got a guy to beat, Rick. He's walking this near sideline. 25. There's the cut. 15, 10. Oh, a late flag. Ball loose, too. Look at this. Loose in the end zone. They'll call it a touchdown. They'll call it a touchdown for the Tide, which is big, until they reverse it. It's going to be a flag, I believe, on this near sideline for a block. But you want the guys dressed in stripes to see the Tide recover it. We'll see. You can see from the stream that they did call it a touchdown, the guy with the best angle on it, but will he be overruled? There's a lot to sort out. Just one play here, Rick, and there's a ton to talk about.
17 seconds in, Clay, we've got a lot of fireworks, and boy, just like Coach Sogner talked about, we talked about it too. Don't try to tell Zayden Foxworth he's just a sophomore. He ain't going to hear it. That's a big-time play.
Yeah, let's see what they'll find out here, Rick. It looked like Zayden was run down and ripped away at about the 2. The ball laid there what seemed like forever. They'll have to decide, did a Maroon Tide get on it, or was it an Admiral? And then, of course, you have the flag that took place really late in the run, too. That came out at about the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
So a big discussion here.
One of those spots where it's almost impossible because you're cutting back and guys are getting down to not maybe chip someone in the back. But either way, a 99-yard return. Foxworth barely got his foot from not touching that end zone, but what a great, beautiful return.
Yeah, unless it ends with the Admirals football, and then you would have given away the opening kick, and I think that's what may take place here, Rick, because the visiting blue and orange crowd pretty happy about things. I think Gulfport's gathering up their offense, so maybe the recovery was overturned, and maybe a discussion amongst the crew here saw Gulfport dive on it.
Yeah, that's the Maroon Tide offense was making their way out. Coach Stogner's asking for an explanation there. But, boy, I thought maybe he was down, Clay. I thought his knee might have been down before the ball squirted out. But Coach Hayden's going to send his defense on.
So what looked to be an incredible start for the Tide will flip, and you'll give away your opening possession to Gulfport. So one play in and a turnover on the Tide's ledger. Boy, hard to fault the sophomore. You said it, an electric, beautiful return to right at the end. Credit the Admirals, though, Rick. They never gave up on it. And then when you have that angle, have that ability to kind of rip at the end, they certainly kept playing through the whistle, and that effort's going to get them the football to start here at the 20.
And, boy, what a move, Clay. I mean, didn't have a lot there, but puts his foot in the ground and goes through, as you would say, a phone booth. And, wow, it's a beautiful run.
Yeah, he's a special kid. He'll be lined up at safety here for the Tide to start defensively. Here's Wolverton in the shotgun formation, going to get it out of his hands quickly, just like we told you he would. It's caught on the far sideline and advanced up to about the 28-yard line. So an 8-yard completion for Wolverton to get things started. Got it right out of his hands. Was there maybe for half a beat before it was back out to the far sideline.
Yeah, the identical same play that they ran a year ago, Clay, and looks like they're going to back up as well.
Going to be a flag somewhere in the mix. It was on that far sideline, kind of tucked in. Couldn't see it. Must be a hole because they're backing up 10 yards. Going to bring it back to the 10. So a holding will make it 1st and 20. Neither team kind of helping themselves in our early going. We've got a penalty and a turnover on the first 2 plays. Now we won't get to the 3rd play before we'll get another boo-boo. First game on full display here for both clubs, right?
Yeah.
2 penalties and a turnover. And we're only 35 seconds into this. When no score, Tide were a half yard away from leading this one, but ended in a turnover on the kickoff, the opening kickoff. Wolverton going to put a tailback, that's Frederick, off his left hip. Now they'll bring a man in motion from left to right and get it to him on a little speed sweep. Good pursuit and a nice play made. That was Foxworth all the way from the safety position coming up and getting enough of the ball carrier, Thomas. That's JoJo Thomas, the transfer from Biloxi with his touch, and good job by Foxworth. He read that one really well, Ricky.
He did, man, flying back there and chopped him down just enough so the rest of the Tide defenders could get there.
3 to the right side of this formation. That's where Wolverton's looking to throw. Late over the middle, incomplete. A late hit, but Foxworth going to survive it. I was waiting maybe for a flag as Foxworth went ahead with the payoff at the end, but it'll be an incomplete pass. A ball a bit high for the intended wide receiver. We'll move it to 3rd and about 17 here. Ricky Whitaker will be snapped from Gulfport's 16-yard line.
Yeah, but a little bit high there. It might be nerves for Wolverton. But, boy, back-to-back plays by Foxworth, letting out that frustration.
Yeah, if he throws it high often over the middle, Foxworth will go the other way with it. Good pressure, but a wide-open wide receiver out at the 20. A nice tackle made, though, to save it. That's Jaden Pierre over there who made a good tackle, Rick. That had trouble written all over it on the far sideline. But Pierre able to make a sure tackle on Stubbs. That will get the Tide off the field. And the holding penalty to start the drive. Going to help the Tide defensively and going to cause a 3 and out as Dennis will drop back to his 40-yard line waiting to receive a punt.
I like what I've seen so far, Clay, from the defense.
Snap back was good, and this is a dandy punt. Going to bounce at the 44 and trickle all the way down past the 30. Look at this thing. Continues to dribble down to the 24 of the Tide. That's where the Tide will have it. So you look at it, Rick, really no damage done other than you're wasting that first possession, but the Tide defense were able to come up with a nice stop, a good 3 and out. As you said, you like what you saw.
Yeah, people were flying around. Love the play from Foxworth and the good open field tackle. I mean, that was a easy pass to defend. It's a safe play on a 3rd down and long, but the cornerback did his job in Perrier getting up and making the stop, putting the punting team on the field.
And it will be Tanner Rayburn, the junior, going to come out and lead the Tide offensively. 6 foot 195 from the quarterback position. He will have A.K. Burnett at the fullback spot and Zay Dennis at the tailback spot. Junior James, the wide receiver, out to the near side. Here's Dennis looking for a bit of a gap. And ball loose again, Rick, to the 31 was the carry, but Tide have had it twice and turned it over twice. Foxworth with a fumble on the kick off, and now here Dennis going to have it squirt loose at about the 30-yard line. This is a different variety, though, because Gulfport going to have mighty good starting field position.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to give a little bit of that momentum back to Gulfport, pretty deep inside Maroon Tide territory here.
Absolutely. So Tide defense, not even a shot of water gotten, and going to have to run right back out there on a extremely hot, humid night here in late August, just what you would expect. No time to regroup at all. We'll put trips to the left of the formation, ball on the far hash. Wolverton, the sophomore, calls for it, tries to get it out of his hands quickly and has. There's Perrier with another good tackle. Good job by him. The catch is made, Rick, but on those little underneath passes in high school football, as long as you can secure it after the fact, you can survive as a corner there. Easier said than done. That was Seneca Taylor Jr.
Yeah, you see that big body, 6'2", 200 pounds, boy, and he's not afraid to go over the middle.
Yeah, and they just rotate them in like they're just a lot of them standing around down there. That's unbelievable to me. A good tackle made coming from the backside. A really nice play made. That was Mr. Stallings. Kelvin Stallings making his first impression on this ball game. We hope to call him a lot, Rick. He was a kid that was with the team for about 3 or 4 games last year, left the program. Tide glad to have him back. A big tackle there. Sets up 3rd and 3 before a pre-snap whistle.
Yep.
They're going to say Gulfport moved prior to. And this is a big penalty, Rick. You take a 3rd and 2.5 and turn it into a 3rd and 7.5. That changes the whole play call.
Yeah, really, really good read there by Stallings. And we'll watch this Gulfport offense as the game progresses, Clay. And we've already seen some similarities with the play call. 25 passes to 18 rushes last year. I think we'll see maybe closer to that 50-50 from Coach Pennick tonight, but trying to get his quarterback settled in with these simple runs. Let's see if he lets him take a shot here on 3rd down.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the play call as well. You're kind of in that in-between zone where you potentially would go for it on 4th as well. Going to send Stubbs in motion from left to right. Going to give it back to Kendrick going to his left and stayed at home rather well. A sophomore who really sees the game a different level. That's Rico Javery. Javery going to be a heck of a player. Ricky Whitaker, mark that down. If I'm wrong, I'll buy you dinner in a couple years, but he's going to have a stellar Maroon Tide career. There, he didn't let the eye candy bother him. You're a linebacker, a former linebacker. You can appreciate that play by Mr. Javery.
Yep, and you got to watch the hard count here.
Yep, 4th and right at about 4. So a hard count would give away a 1st down. Wolverton trying to throw, but there is Jerry Mark. His first sack on what we hope is plenty this season. There is Mr. Mark with the slam dunk. Basketball guy gets his first sack of the season. Hopefully we'll get about mid-year, and I'll call him a football guy. He's going to have to earn it from me, but that was a nice sack there by Jerry, we'll call them slam dunks this season as he marks them down, and that was a big one on 4th down.
That was a heck of a play there from Marks. Going to be doing both ways duties, and it looks like he's going to get a breather now. I would expect to see McKinley in at the tight end spot, but Clay, only 2 offensive touches, and they've both been fumbles. Picayune offense got to get going here. Defense has done great so far.
They really have against what I would be shocked if just is not a potent offense for Gulfport. So that's a really, really good sign. Same setup. Burnett leading the way. He's at fullback. That's Zay Dennis tucked back behind him. Junior James, the lone wide receiver. Boy, we're in first game form for both squads, are we not? You had James in at wide receiver. He'll come over to the sideline and have to get a new play. Tide moved prior to, and so that's another pre-snap penalty. Neither team looks exceptionally sharp on offense in the early going.
No, they don't. That's going to move it back to the 26.
1st and 15 from the 26 of the Tide. Bunched in tight are the Admirals. Rayburn going to come from under center, readjust things. He's going to pitch it out to Dennis. Dennis going to fight ahead to about the 31-yard line. We'll give him a 5-yard gain off the left side. Jeremiah Mark, who's slotted to start at the tight end position, you said he'd get a breather. At the left tackle, you have Colston Head. He's just a sophomore, 6'1", 309. Left guard, Edgar Cruz, 5'10", 278, the senior. Senior center, Jacob Nixon, 6'2", 306. Your right guard, a senior, Jason Jenkins, and then your right tackle, a freshman, Al Edwards, is how the Tide look offensively. Here's Dennis. A bit more of a seam there, Rick. And that's where I think he got better and better a year ago, seeing that seam inside and being able to just go hit it for once there. There will be about 6 yards to be had from Dennis and gets you in a much better third manageable here.
Yeah, you said it, man. You took the words out of my mouth. It puts that, he's a lot quicker to put that foot in the ground and trust what he's seeing.
Big third down, if nothing else, to let the Tide defense get a breather. They've been out there a lot already. Puts his foot in the ground, as Rick described. Did a helmet and a football get over to the 40? That's where he needed to get. So far, they're going to say 4.5 yards. Well, you're talking about an early decision. Here we'll get it. Will Cody keep his offense out there and Coach Stogner? Or what will be done here? Maybe we'll get a measure.
All right, looks like it, yeah.
This. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
I begged and pleaded. What was that, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
Rick? I basically cried about the lack of measurements in this game because it's so critical right here. What's it? It costs just a bit of time, but it is crucial to know if this is short or not.
Man,
so I love
yeah.
to see the measurement.
I'm going to say the nose of the football is across, but that's going to be my guess.
What do you see it with maroon and gray
I see it with
goggles?
maroon and
Sometimes
gray
I mean,
goggles.
just from time to time, right? That's the way you're supposed to. Look, they're gonna say what is that, Rick? Probably a football and a half
Yeah.
short.
It's just hard to see from up here. They're gonna measure from a different spot.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
They're gonna say they're gonna bring it to the hash and say about a football and a half short. This is a tough choice for Cody
Yeah.
and that offensive staff across the way. Coach Stogner, Coach Feely, and that group trying to figure out exactly what they want to do. Tyler Penton, Peyton Wells, Neil Lawler, Zoe Breland.
Yeah, it's going to be a charge timeout there. He's going to think about it. It's going to be our Tyler Alexander at Alexander Group timeout brought to us by those guys. And this is a tough spot, Clay. And I think it's a smart timeout from Coach Stogner to take it. A hard count is always an option, but it's so short of a distance. You don't want to fool your gone guys and back up more. So you almost got to just go quick. And maybe it's a sneak here with Rayburn, but makes it tougher. If it's 3 or 4 yards, you can maybe do the hard count. Tougher to do it that close.
You've got Rayburn, who's a junior. He's got a big frame, Rick. He's 6 foot, listed in our roster at 195. The man in front of him at the senior position, Jacob Nixon, a 6'2", 306 in the roster. So there's some humanity there if you're just trying to push forward and get it. The problem is the guys that Gulfport line up right in that same area are pretty good athletes as well. So that would be good on good if that's the route you chose to take if you're Picayune offensively. We'll see what takes place.
Yeah, got two young guys getting their starts tonight. You've already mentioned one of them. Both of our tackles, a freshman, calling Big Al, and then on the other side, a sophomore. But here we go, big fourth down play.
Yeah, let's see what the Tide dial up. Fourth and less than a yard. And they got to look at it, did the Tide, and they will burn a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll reset the action and have a fourth down when we return. 0-0, 5:43 to go here in our opening quarter. Picayune Maroon Tide and the Gulfport Admirals.
At Planet Home Lending, you are more than just another transaction. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a veteran using VA benefits, or buying a secondary home, they have a home loan program that fits your needs. Planet Home Lending proudly serves Picayune and Pearl River County with FHA home loans, VA loans, USDA housing loans, and more. Give Melissa Rubel a call at 601-276-5058 or stop by their office located at 219C Telly Road in Picayune. Planet Home Lending will get you home.
Here is that fourth down that we told you about coming out of the break. See what the Tide do. It'll be a toss to Dennis. Dennis, I'm seeing forward motion on the far sideline from the Tide saying he got it. So that's a good look. Needed about 2 footballs and went and got about 5 or 6. Rick probably picked up a yard and a half, not much more than that, but it was enough to get it to the 42 and move the sticks for the Tide. That's what the Tide needs. Let that defense catch its breath. Beautiful night here in Picayune. Beautiful sunset that the Lord's given us. 5:15 to go in our opening quarter. 0-0 our score. Been an electric start in many ways. The kickoff to get things started that ended in a turnover. There's Burnett's first carry, and he was rudely greeted, Rick. That is a tough assignment. And Jordan Fernandez, you talked about the sophomore, all 6'3", 300 pounds of him, and he made an impact play there.
Yeah, and helping him out there, too, is that anchor we talked about, and Nick Strickland, he's back there as well. And it looks like they've got a 4-man front, maybe rotating in between a 3-4 look and a straight 4-man front, but that time it was all 4 big bodies.
Yeah, they're a 4-man front that look like 6, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they are big across that front. One lone wide receiver to the top of the formation. That's Gabe Brewer. Got him on the reverse potentially, but the speed to cover it up. Look at that, Rick. I thought that Javery was going to be in real space, and just as I said that, LaBega able to discard his block and set the edge. I messed up, Rick. I was going into a pretty good call there of Javery having room, but there was not room to be had, and then flags came out as well.
Yeah, as it stands now, a loss of 2 yards on the play. You mentioned very good speed by Gulfport to recover.
And when he was coming out this way, when I could see 3 on the front of his jersey, I thought it was going to be a big play for the Tide. 3rd and 13, Tide jump here. McKinley got an early start. So going to be 3rd and now 18 for the Maroon Tide. And you talk about it, Rick. They're running 2 or 3 guys on and just replacing them with the same make and model here on this Admiral side. Really good athlete run off, really good athlete run on. Going to back it up to the 34.
Yeah, you'll see number 6, Peyton, one of their captains. He's getting the call there in from the sideline.
Rayburn, a young quarterback in the sense of snaps taken. He's listed as a junior, doesn't have a whole lot of reps under his belt. You may want to protect him here in this 3rd and long, and that's what the Tide have done. Going to run the toss out to the left side and pick up what you can. I like that play call, Rick. Some people may moan and groan with a 3rd and long and you don't throw the football, but there's no need in putting a junior quarterback in a bad spot there. Toss it out, get what you can, and punt the football. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen Zay take those to the house. Make house
exactly
throws in those
right.
plays, so
That's a
I don't
good
mind
call.
it either. And it was good, too. He went outside. That was the right way to do it that time.
Yeah, I agree. You've got a dangerous returner back. That's the captain I believe you were just talking about, Peyton, back to receive. Here's Eddie Cruz going to punt it for the first time this season. He's gotten a good roll. Peyton going to pick it up, though, at about the 9. Made the first Tidesman miss, and now he's loose to the near sideline. There's going to be a clip back behind the play. Stallings eventually going to run down Peyton. It's all for naught from the Gulfport perspective, as at about the 16 lays a flag, and I'd be shocked if that's not a block in the back, as it routinely is when you change directions like that, especially in high school football. You can almost bank on that going against the return team. Great crowd from both sides tonight. Boy, Gulfport, a 7A state title. I'll get you make that hour trip, won't it?
Yeah, it will, Clay. And I tell you, man, you heard these coaches, if you caught our preview podcast, they were barking at their defenses. We've had 2 fumbles and 3 punts to start this game out. That's a lot of defense there.
Yeah, they've played well, both sides. And the other side of that argument, neither offense has been sharp. Been some unforced errors with pre-snap penalties. Even this in the special teams, the Tide have a turnover. Gulfport with a costly penalty, going to back them up inside the 10-yard line here. Finally going to lay it down, it looks like at the 8-yard line of Gulfport.
Yeah, it was good to see Zay get going a little bit. I mean, he had 23 yards on 5 touches, just under 5 yards a carry. So I think Zay's starting to get in gear a little bit. Just hate to see the drive stall.
Frost going from left to right. There was Frost. He's hard to miss when he moves. Did the Tide move as he moved? They did. He was going in motion, Rick, from left to right, and when he did, the Tide jumped defensively. So not been one you're going to send into Canton, Ohio for the Football Hall of Fame so far in this first quarter, both with some first game type stuff, which you would expect. Here's a good run for Gulfport, a little misdirection, and going to be able to grind it out to about the 16-yard line. That was a good-looking play, a good design. Ty did a pretty good job defensively, but you won't know it because of the penalty on first down. So now you set up in a 2nd and 2.
Yeah, really nice plays by both tackles rotating in. That was DeWitt and Baker.
DeWitt's going to be a really good player. I have a feeling for the Tide, just seeing him in practice leading in. Got a guy going from right to left in motion. There's Alds with a good tackle. Alds did a good job. That's Grayson Alds right outside the 20-yard line is where I had it. We'll see where it's spotted. It's going to be enough for a Gulfport first down. They'll put it right at the 20. Gulfport going to get a fresh set of downs, get it to the 20-yard line of the Tide.
And they just checked out one of their starting offensive linemen. We'll want to keep an eye on that here for his replacement.
Good catch by you. Here's Frost going from right to left. Low snap. Wolverton handled it well, and now he'll try to run it. Ball loose. Tide have it. I believe Pierre had a chance at it. Oh, no, he didn't catch it in the air, Rick. It'll be Taylor who gets it on the far side. I thought Pierre, Alds put a helmet on the football. It pops up. And I thought Pierre, the corner, was going to have it. He just doesn't squeeze it there in the air. And then Taylor, credit him for Gulfport, able to retrieve it.
Oh, man, and Alds is sick. He was ready to block for him, but what a play, what a hit. That's a young man who's been showing up tonight as well for the Maroon Tide defense.
Yeah, he has. He's played well so far. Trips over to the left, a one-handed attempt by Taylor. It's dropped. Pierre was right where he needed to be. They've thrown at Pierre 3 or 4 times, Rick. He's been in a good spot each and every time. Going to bring up now a 3rd and 9 opportunity for Gulfport from their own 21-yard line. 1:33 remain here in our opening quarter. You can see on that scoreboard bug, it is 0-0. Appreciate Diamond Productions for their streaming partnership with us again this season.
Gets him with a hard count, Clay. It looks like going to give him 5 yards. It's going to make it a more manageable third down, and that's not good news for the Tide defense. You've got a sophomore quarterback. You've already sacked him, and you've hit him pretty hard. He's a little shook up right now. You don't want to see him start settling in.
Yeah, like most dual sports or multiple sport kids, Rick, I think that's where that kind of competitive advantage. They've been in a lot of different contests. Even as a sophomore, he probably will not scare very easily. Here's a nice throw. Going to be called at the 30, advanced to the 31, and that's just what Gulfport needed to do. It was a good job by Foxworth, but Stubbs secured it and gets it across the yardage needed for the first down. Stubbs won't ever make a bigger catch in Gulfport, right? He doesn't have to buy any more meals
That's right.
in his hometown. He's the guy that caught the touchdown.
And, hey, just a beautiful form tackle.
Yes, it was. I told you Foxworth's going to be textbook in that area. Misdirection here. The Tide at home. They are. 7 lowered his shoulder, though. That was Jalen Johnson who had it, Rick, and he really finished off that run well at about the 36, able to drive up to the 38. Tide stayed at home. Gulfport didn't trick them, but Johnson with a physical run. Good-looking player once again for Gulfport.
Yeah, and Gulfport has been content really playing Picayune style of football with their offense here. A lot of runs here for them early in this game.
Just about done here in our opening quarter. There's Frederick trying to go out to the right and has. That's one of his better runs so far. He's going to have a first down. Gets it up to the 46. Nearing midfield with this drive are the Admirals.
And I got to think coming in with him being their number one back, I don't think we'll see a ton of touches from him. We'll have to see. But I'm worried more. The threat for him is sneaking out that backfield.
There's a flag on the far side. I could tell Coach Blake Pennock was not happy, and I was wondering why, because there's a flag on the far side, so it'll wipe that first down away. And they're going to keep walking backwards, Rick, all the way. He's past the 30 in the right direction, down to the 29 of Gulfport. So that's a big penalty. Just 14 seconds left here in our opening quarter. Been an exciting quarter. Nothing to show for either squad. 0-0 our score. Trips to left of this formation. Wolverton gets it out of his hands quickly. That's Hales. Hales sprinting down this near sideline across midfield to the 46 of the Tide. And Hales just good sprinter speed after he got it. Got a good block and was able to move it up to the 46.
Yeah, and I think Frost might have got away with a block in the back. No flag thrown, though, and there's Hales. He did that. We've seen what he can do with the screen. They go back to it there, and it works.
That'll do it for our opening quarter of play. We'll head to the second quarter action after this break. 0-0 our score. Gulfport and your Picayune Maroon Tide.
Diamond Productions is a premier live production company specializing in audio, lighting, video, content development, and production management. With an uncompromising attention to detail and a standard of excellence that exceeds expectations, we deliver seamless events that engage, inspire, and impress. At Diamond Productions, the bar isn't set for us, it's set by us.
At Planet Home Lending, you are more than just another transaction. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a veteran using VA benefits, or buying a secondary home, they have a home loan program that fits your needs. Planet Home Lending proudly serves Picayune and Pearl River County with FHA home loans, VA loans, USDA housing loans, and more. Give Melissa Rubel a call at 601-2...
Back here to start our second quarter. Gulfport going to have it at the Tide 46. 1st and 10 from there. Wolverton looking to throw over the middle. He's got a guy completed. And a nice tote after the catch down to the 31-yard line, Rick. And not asking a ton out of the sophomore, just what Coach Pennock told us he was going to do earlier in the week. He wasn't going to put too much on the plate, but if an open guy's there, Wolverton been able to pepper him pretty good with it.
Yeah, that time the receiver just settles in the soft spot of the defense, and he finds him.
Gets it to the 31, 1st and 10 from there. Here is JoJo Thomas with the carry. He's the smaller of the two backs. We saw him last year with Biloxi. He was really good, Rick. I was impressed with him in that Biloxi game a year ago. He's moved over to Gulfport. He's going to be a good change of pace for the bigger back and Frederick. A pretty good 1-2 combo.
Yep, another good play there, too, by DeWitt, and Alls cleans it up.
Here's Thomas trying to get the edge, and he has a good cut at the 15, still alive at the 10, all the way down to the 5-yard line. There's some of that vision we saw him display a year ago with Biloxi. Gets it to the 5, does JoJo Thomas.
Yeah, that's just the old stretch play, Clay, and we had a defender, had him dead to rights, but just didn't have his head up, didn't break down, and what turns in what would have been a very minimal game to a pretty big play and a scoring opportunity now for the Admirals.
See if the Tide can tap the brakes, maybe get a turnover here. 1st and goal from the 5. 2 men will go from right to left, Frost being on the end of that. And here's Wolverton, made a read on his own and kept it, Rick. Did the sophomore, and will score from 5 yards out. So the first score of tonight's ball game going to come at the 10:32 mark in the second quarter on a 5-yard touchdown run by the sophomore QB. Wolverton made a read, Rick, and I'm calling it a read. It looked like the tailback wanted it, but Wolverton made the right call, held on to it himself for a 5-yard score.
Yep, Gulfport getting into their big set, had 2 tight ends, and he gets in right behind Big Frost, the big 6'7" guy leading the way, and Gulfport answers first points.
Killebrew going to knock it home and get it to a clean 7-0 lead for Gulfport. Rick, we just had the quarter break, so I'm going to keep it right here. 10:32 to go before our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Your impression so far? I've been pretty pleased with the way the defense have played up to that last drive. They've been asked a lot of so far in the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could easily be a 14 or 21-0 lead right now. You fumbled 2 of your first touches and gave Gulfport really good starting position on that second one. But, hey, the defense has done their job. They've held. I think they were a little tired, Clay, on that last. They've been on the field a lot. We've only mustered 7 offensive plays all night.
That's just very unusual, right, for a quarter to go by and nearly 2 minutes of the next one for a Tide offense. Tide offense really pride themselves on those patented long drives and just haven't been able to put one of those together yet. You fumble the opening kickoff, and then you have a turnover from your tailback and Zay Dennis, and that's kind of snap counts you're going to put together offensively.
Yep. It'd be interesting here to see if they go deep again, try to get it in the end zone, or just maybe squib one down the middle.
Neither option's good for the opponents this year as Zayden Fox or Zay Dennis. They can both hurt you. Dennis has it from the 5, has hit it hard all the way up to the 35, Rick, and that was a fearless return. He went from the 20 to the 35 at his top speed through traffic to get to the 35. Kind of speaks to the mentality of Dennis. No fear at all. He's small in stature, but he's got a lot of dog in him. Got him up to the 35. A good return from Dennis.
Yeah, Maroon Tide really need to get one of those patented long drives, get some points out of it here. They're in good shape. Not time to push a panic button yet. Just got to get in a flow here on offense.
I'm actually going to have him spotted at the 34, Rick, for your sheet. Don't want to mess you up, but it will be at the 34. Rayburn under center, going to give it to Dennis. Dennis trying to work out to the left side and won't be able to set the edge and then some. This interior line really has settled in. That's Strickland again.
And, boy, I said I wanted to see AK, and, boy, AK finishes a guy off, has to go out because he takes his helmet off in the process. But, boy, what a block by your fullback.
Tide just going to be able to pick up 2, and that's it. 2nd and 8. to be at the 36 of the Tide. Gabe Brewer, the widest man out en route. Trying to go out to the outside. Rayburn going to keep it himself. And, boy, if he pitches it there, Rick, I think Dennis may be dancing in the maroon on the other end. He keeps it, but he's got Burnett and Dennis out here wide, and he held on to it and tucked in. But Dennis, I believe, was going to be able to skirt that far sideline. Now, that's easy for me to say up here from this booth, but just looking at it a couple times over, we'll bring up a third and now.
Only be a pickup of 1.
Yeah, going to bring up a 3rd and long 6 here for the Tide. Here's Dennis again. Dennis with not a whole lot of room to operate in. You got a single number that worked himself into that play, Rick, coming down, crashing hard. That was a linebacker, and Jaden Jones, just a sophomore.
Yeah, the play before, Gulfport rotated 4 fresh guys in on defense. They're doing that quite often.
Seeing these 2 freshman units from a year ago compete for a championship, it was just going to be impossible to keep what now will be that sophomore class from either side off of the field. Both stacked. 4th and 3. Tide go for it. Can Dennis get it? He has, Rick, on that far sideline. Needed about 2.5 yards. Got it up to midfield. So a great decision there for the Tide to go for it. And Dennis gets it out to the midfield stripe.
That's going to be a pickup of 8, Clay. That's going to be Zay's best run of the night. He's had a couple of 5-yarders. That's going to be his best one here late in the second quarter.
Nearing the 8-minute mark here in our second quarter. Just 8 minutes away from our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. This was Kendall Jett in at fullback. Rayburn with time to throw. Going to overshoot the intended wide receiver. That was Zay Richardson, as Rich was overshot there. He was pretty well covered up. Don't mind that throw from Rayburn. 2nd and 10. I like the play call, too. If you're going to have Rayburn throw it, trying to break him into the game, Rick, go ahead and throw it on a 1st and 10 situation. Try to catch Gulfport off guard.
Yeah, I like that. We had some success against them last year throwing on 1st down.
You have Javery in the slot, Brewer out wide. The toss to this side, that's Foxworth. Zayden Foxworth going to get the carry. Dances to the 46-yard line of Gulfport. See if Tide can continue this drive, grind some of this clock.
That'd be a nice 4-yard pickup for Foxworth. I believe that's his first carry of the game.
That is correct. You've got Jakai Hathorn running the play in. He'll be the wide receiver to the top of the screen. McKinley trying to get settled. He'll end up in the slot. Rayburn under center. Jett at the fullback. Mishandled football between the center and quarterback, and it was still loose, Rick. And then Gulfport ends up with it. We'll wait for official indication, but that was so odd. A bunch of bodies just kind of laying around, and then you see the football squirt at about the 43-yard line where Admiral has it. This is interesting as they discuss it. I thought somebody in that pile had it, but no, the ball was still loose and squirted to about the 43-yard line where a Gulfport player had it.
Yeah, no signal's been given yet as they're discussing it. It looked like the receiver, the referee that's closest now, talking to Cody Stogner, is maybe the offense is going to retain possession here.
Well, let's find out. That would be big if we did. Be big if we didn't as well. Already have a couple turnovers in this one. Coach Pennick not happy. That's a good sign for the Tide.
Yeah, he's going to ask for his explanation as well, but looks like the Tide gonna keep it, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Beautiful night here in Picayune. Pink skies above Lee Triplett Stadium. 7-0 our score. Admirals on top of the Tide. 7 minutes to go. Should be 4th down, right, Rick? Indication the sticks are showing 3rd, but it should be 4th, I think. Let's see. Nobody's noticed it so far. We'd love 2 more chances at it, but I'm almost positive it's 4th down. Yet to be corrected, so about 7 yards to gain here. Toss to Dennis. Dennis makes a couple guys miss. He's still alive up to about the 41 on that far sideline. Now it's going to matter. They flip it to the 4th down, and if we get an extra play, we'll certainly take it. I'm not sure what happened there, Rick, but I thought it was – well, they'll say 4th and 1, so in my count, we're kind of sneaking a play in here. Maybe I missed something, but it will be 4th and 1. Unless there was a flag or something on one of these.
No, I didn't see a flag there. I'm not sure what happened, but you could hear the Gulfport crowd yelling for 4th down, but
we'll take it.
It's 4th down now.
From the 41-yard line of Gulfport, Dennis tries to tuck in and get it. Not going to be able to. A 4th and 1, and Gulfport going to be able to stiffen and stop the Tide.
Wait a minute, though. Forward progress. We'll see where he spots it.
Oh, boy. Rick, this would be an all-timer here if the Tide are able to get this one. Gulfport going to lose their mind.
Side judge rushed out, Clay, and he led with his left foot, and that looked favorable from here, but we'll have to see. But he was quick to get out there and spot it.
And favorable would be a big word you just used there from the Tide standpoint, because I love Zay more than most. I'm a fan for sure, but I'm not sure if 9 nudged it all the way to the 40 on the play that I just watched, but we would take it if that's the case. Let's see where they stretch it and get it. Oh, it's close. Rick,
he
first
got it.
Down. My.
We'll take it.
Go ahead, Zay Dennis. I mean, his 150-pound frame able to sneak it to the 40, and the folks that made their trip up from the coast not all that pleased with that set.
No, but I mean, in all fairness, the side judge, he had the best angle, and he saw where the ball would have been pointed if it was there. But, again, we'll take it. We've certainly benefited from some that went the other direction.
No, you think him and Blake going to get to know each other pretty well, like here between these 2 snaps. Either way, ball now rests at the 40. Tide putting it together, a drive, Rick, here under the 6-minute mark, trailing by a touchdown, trying to get this thing even.
Play number 10 of this drive.
You're going to have Javery in the slot. That's Richardson out, the wide man. Here's a good cut by Dennis. He's pounded at the 35, but able to fall forward to about the 34-yard line, a 6-yard pickup for Zay Dennis. Dennis, physical, Rick. Been under that squat rack this summer, working, getting stronger. We'll round him up, Rick. They'll put it between the 34 and the 35. I'll give him 6 if your sheet will allow it.
It will allow it.
Young player coming out to the near side to us, Rick. That's Jakai Hathorn, the little brother of Jamari Hathorn. He was the lone wide receiver to this side. Another pitch out to Zay Dennis. It gets him to the 31. What was the little joke that Cody Stogner said that he asked Zay about the pitch count?
Yeah, he said he might have him go 50. He said he could do it. Or go for 35.
Yeah, for
he
35. He said he was just
he,
checking on him and seeing how his mindset was.
He
said you might that number at this pace.
He said you might need to go for 35, and they said I can go 50 if you need me to. We hope we don't see that.
Yeah, but you keep putting an X by his name over in that box you keep. 3rd and a yard and a half here. Ball at the 31-yard line of Gulfport. Met almost immediately. I'm worried about the football, Rick, in that exchange. As that was Rayburn trying to get it to Foxworth. And there was an Admiral almost in between that exchange, going to be a tackle for a loss. You talk about penetration from a defensive line. Look at that play. And Foxworth had no chance. I'm proud that he held on to it.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to – I thought he maybe lost a yard there, but I think they'll keep it square at 30 on the 31.
You're exactly right. 2 wide receivers to the left of the formation. Burnett at the fullback position. This is Foxworth at the tailback. Took what the defense gave him and picked up the first down. That's a mature run by the sophomore, Rick. Didn't try to do anything fancy. Didn't try to light the fireworks. Just went and got what he needed with his head down for the first down for Foxworth.
Yeah, really nice run by him. And his first couple, he's gotten hit a lot, him and Zay both. Those big bodies on that Gulfport defensive line.
Get a timeout here. They're going to charge Gulfport. And this is a good timeout, I think, defensively. This is one of those kind of grind you out drives for the Tide and just trying to maybe get some oxygen and some water to their group from Gulfport. But you've got to be impressed with this drive so far for the Maroon Tide, Ricky Whitaker.
Yeah, it was a really good drive there. Tyler Alexander at Alexander Group timeout. Gave him a free one on the Heat timeout.
Sure did, man. Getting those bills paid. Love me some Tyler Alexander. That whole family I'm a big fan of. It's cool that he's earning enough money to give me back some. A kid that I babysat, Rick, and he still made something of his life, so I'm proud of that. Zay Dennis, 12 rushes, 53 yards on the night, averaging about 4.5 a pop. And that's enough, right, to possess it. I'm not great at math, but I do 3 times 4.5, and I'm moving the sticks.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Those 4 or 5 yard runs, we're not seeing him gash those big ones that we're accustomed to, but that's not what we expected to see against this Gulfport defense, and they look to be as advertised.
Yeah, both these teams stay near one another. I think it'll be a win for either side. It's a really good measuring stick across the way for either. Here's McKinley with his first carry. He's hit at the 26, falls to the 25. Oh, wing back give going from left to right. And there's another play, Rick. It's not spectacular, but it's a gain of 4 or 5. Tide will continue to take it, have it to the 25 of Gulfport. One concerning thing defensively, Gulfport keeps getting up and handing the football back to this group. It's like they're plucking it away. We've already got 2 turnovers there at the end of it. You had a defender give it to this crew. Ty going to have to do a better job of just holding on to the football altogether. We're under the 3-minute mark, down to 2:44. That's Dennis at the tailback. He's got it, trying to follow the lead of Burnett. And he's up to about the 20-yard line. That's exactly where he's to. They'll say wind the chains. Clock continues to roll. Sets up about a 3rd and 1.5 here. We're at the 2:20 mark before our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Tide would love to score with about a second left in this half.
They've certainly taken a lot of this clock off. Got the ball with 8 minutes and change on the clock here in the second quarter, and they have used a lot of it. About to start play number 16 on this drive.
Kind of drive that Cody Stogner and Adam Feely dream about at night. Helps them sleep well as this type of drive right here. Here's a give to Dennis off the right side and just popped at the 20. He'll fall inside the 20. Didn't have a choice there, Rick. He was sandwiched. The defender actually helping Zay Dennis up. Excellent show of sportsmanship as Dennis slow to get back to the huddle. He was hit hard and sandwiched between 2 Admirals. 4th and 2 here, Rick. That was a loss of a half yard. Down to 1:25. Ty going to go for it. I've already done that, I believe, 4 times here in this half on 4th down. McKinley going to go from right to left. He's at the wing. You've got Burnett and Dennis back behind Rayburn. Dennis with a slither of space. Did he get enough is going to be the question. They have him up to the 18. If that's the mark, I think he's still going to be short. He's going to get a lot of help on spotting this thing after the last spot. They're going to ask for a measurement. This crew's getting a ton of help from Gulfport on the spotting of the football after that last spot didn't go the Admirals' way. We're at 1:03 left in the half, 7-0, Admirals on top. See what takes place here. 2 measurements in this opening half. Maybe the state's turned over a new leaf.
Yeah, and I think this one's not going to go in our favor, and it doesn't.
No, but what you can take away from that, Rick, especially if the Tide don't give up a score before the half, as you ate, nearly 7.5 minutes off the clock. Able to flip field position. Now, all that is if Gulfport doesn't score. You know, that kind of goes away if Gulfport's able to pin one on here and get it to 14-0 before the half. But if you're able to stop them right here, that was a really good drive by the offense.
Oh, yeah, 17 minutes and actually 9 minutes and 22 seconds on 17 plays on that drive. Quite a drive. Took a lot of clock off. And like you said, if the defense can hold here, you're down 7-0. You're still in pretty good shape.
And Gulfport, they proved it in that state title, right? This is plenty of time for this offense, even tucked in inside its own 20-yard line. They can move it quickly. Wolverton gets it out of his hands. It's complete. 25 up to the about 27-yard line on that far sideline. That was a good tackle made by Foxworth once again. You're going to love him, Rick, just the way the way he's built. He rarely misses. It was a good run after the catch by Hills.
Yeah, and that's the third time they've ran that. It's a trip screen, and you got basically 3-on-2 defenders, and you got to move quick.
And now Hills comes back through the middle and catches it up to the 39-yard line. You talked about Hills, and then they did that and kept the trips this way, kept Hills one-on-one that time and drug him over the middle. Good job by the Tide defensively not to let him run away.
Yep, everybody in position right where they're supposed to be, just, again, settling down into the soft part of the defense and taking what the defense gives you. And that's asking a lot for these wide receivers because you know you're going to get hit when you settle down like that.
No doubt about it. 29 seconds after this, Tyler Alexander at Alexander and Cruz timeout. We appreciate him. We appreciate Hunter Gill jumping on board, too, with his construction company. He's in the real estate business as well. You'll hear his commercial played throughout. We appreciate Timmy Kraft jumping on board this season. And then, of course, some of our mainstays in Harold's Plumbing, Terry Favre over at Bank Plus, Diamond Productions, Coast Electric, Farm Bureau, Ross, and his group has been so good to us. Devin Smith has been on board since Jump Street. Melissa Rubel with Planet Home. So we have some newbies and some that have hung in with us a long time here.
Should be one timeout remaining now for Gulfport. That's their second.
Just keep them in front of you defensively from Gulfport's 39-yard lines where they'll snap it. Going to the far sideline and batted up in the air. Not sure if that was Jeremiah Mark or if that was Amari Graves, but one or the other was able to get their hand on the football and bat it down. Brings it to a 2nd and 10. Trip's going to be initially over to this right. Blake Pinnock in this offense, notorious for sending a guy in motion. It'll come out of the backfield. They'll show that way, come back to this side, and a really nice play by Alds. I picked on Grayson unintentionally at times last year. It was not personal, just the way the games would play out, and that linebacker group maybe wasn't the standard or the expectations you expect for Picayune Maroon Tide football. Grayson's played a good first half here tonight. Has
right where he was supposed to be there. And look, when you run a screen like that and that's your gain, I mean, you got to make a one-on-one open field tackle, and he does that, drops the defender in his tracks, and forces Gulfport to use their final timeout.
And that was big, right, Rick? Because you miss that tackle. You don't know what it turns into, but you do it there. And as you say, make Gulfport burn this timeout. 3rd and 10. Boy, it was such a well-orchestrated drive from Gulfport's standpoint to be able to pull off that state championship win against Tupelo. Tide looking to try to get back there, Rick. It's hard when you look at Cody. We showed the graphic earlier. Young in your career, just starting out, and you're able to post 2 state titles. Expectations are only going to go up from there. And Tide have played in back-to-back South State championship games. A ton of programs would be pleased as punch at that.
Oh, yeah, certainly so.
Here's a ball dropped. Hadn't said that a lot, and not going to say it a lot about Hills, but I think Stallings staring him in the face there defensively had something to do with that drop, as he was unable to squeeze it at midfield. Good job by Stallings being there to close down, and Tide defense, Rick, have played tremendous here in the first half. Not on the winning end of it so far in this ball game, but I've been super impressed with us defensively.
Yeah, I agree. And we were watching these guys warm up. Don't always get clean snaps back. And, boy, I'd love to see one kind of get bobbled here.
It is a good snap back, a penalty on the punt. It hits at the 28, dribbling now inside the 20 down to about the 16-yard line. That was a really good effort by Noah Fitzgerald. We'll see what the penalty flag's going to be here, Rick. It was on the protector back there, I thought. I mean, what else could it be on? I don't think the punter himself could have had an infraction. I think it was the guy in front of him, and it will be a holding against the Admirals. You got to make them kick it again and pull for that snap you were begging for, right, Rick?
Yep, got to do that. It's going to put some extra pressure on the special teams group to have to execute again.
It will be just as it was a moment ago. Noah Fitzgerald back to punt. He's listed as a sophomore, 5'11", 165. Zay Dennis going to march up to about the 30-yard line to wait to receive the punt. Been an entertaining high school football game, 7-0. Not always going to be that way, but this has been a pretty entertaining half of football. Fitzgerald's got it, and almost getting a hand on it was a Tidesman. Going to force a short punt. Getting back there and making him kick it quick was Marty Raymer, making a nice effort at it. And there you heard the horn in the background, Rick. So that will do it for our opening half. Admiral's going to go to the locker room, leading our Picayune Maroon Tide 7-0. I say that. What do we have here? Do we have a flag? Or are they putting time back on the clock?
I thought there should have been 2 seconds. The ball was out of bounds, and there was a delay.
Well, there was a horn sounded.
Yeah, the horn sounded. I think the horn might have sounded prematurely, but we'll see. Either way, from this part of the field, I think you do something safe here. Maybe just take a knee and get to the locker room.
And I guess I'll argue with you for the first time, Rick. Like, you've got a junior quarterback, big kick and air it out. Why not throw it down there and see what happens? I mean, the risk you do take, somebody hit him kind of mid-whack and the football fly backwards. But we'll see what the Tide choose to do. Clock showing 20 minutes up there for the halftime, so that's an issue at the moment. Tide going to burn a timeout. Can't take them with you. And Ty going to discuss what they're going to do here, Rick.
I think if you're going to run a play here, I think you're going to throw it, but I think you're trying to throw something simple where you got some space there. I don't see them just going all the way down the field, but could be wrong.
Yeah, so you don't see a heave, and I'm kind of the other opinion is like, hey, let's don't throw a 10 or 15-yard out here and look up and have one of these athletes from the Admirals walking down one of these sidelines. Hey, I'm thinking if we're going to throw it, let's chunk the heck out of it and see if we can catch it in the end zone. Yeah, we'll say all this, and we may come out of this timeout and nail it. You know what I mean? Cody may be talking to him about how he's about to get into him in the locker room over there and not even be discussing this play. But I'm pretty impressed with the way the Tide have played, Rick. You turn it over twice to this club, and you're within a touchdown difference. It could be much worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you got Junior James at your wide receiver. You're going to have McKinley stretched out from his slot position, and you got big Jerry Mark as well that can stretch the field. So let's see.
Yeah, we shall find out. Zay Dennis going to flank out to the right side. Rayburn drops back, and he'll just hold on to it at midfield and take a sack. He was going to load up and launch it to Dennis, kind of running a version of basically like a wheel route. He made the right play, though, Rick. What you didn't want is what I described as get half back here and the football go flying backwards. He didn't allow that to happen, took his sack.
Yeah, landed pretty tough on his shoulder, but hopefully he'll be okay there. But, boy, what a crazy start to this game. The opening kickoff is returned what we think for a touchdown by the youngster Foxworth and ends up being a fumble. Gulfport takes over. Picayune holds. Gulfport punts. Next Maroon Tide possession, they fumbled on the first play of the drive, turn it back over. Gulfport with very good field position. Defense holds again. Gulfport punts on their second possession. Picayune punts on their third possession. And then finally on Gulfport's third possession, they get a good drive going. And Wolverton calls his own number, goes in from 5 yards out. Picayune turnover on downs on their fourth possession. And Gulfport punted there to kind of end things out. So you had the one play there before the half, but 7-0's our score. In offense with Gulfport that typically you see some fireworks. It's been kind of a slugfest.
Yeah, it really has. And Rick, you look at it, Dennis on pace for nearly that 30 number, right? Has already touched it 15
He's halfway
times.
there. Yeah.
And so that would be newsworthy if he gets it that many times.
And Zay's numbers have been, solid, not Zay-esque numbers like we're used to seeing, but he's got 60 yards on those 15 carries. That's 4 per carry. He's leading all carries, but the Maroon Tide unit as a whole on offense, 21 touches, 70 yards of offense. Been a long time since we've seen this Maroon Tide offense be under 100 yards in the first half.
Yeah, if you would tell me Moto, Jamari Hathorne, a senior Division I corner against this group of skill guys from Gulfport was not going to dress tonight. You turn it over twice in opening half, and you're still only down a touchdown. I think the Tide would take that. We're going to try something different here in our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. We're going to get a report from Jeremy Shesby and Greg Ducker down on the sidelines. Of course, we're going to have Darren Uzel join you, Rick, and I'm going to step aside. We'll take a 3-minute timeout. On the other side of that break, we should be able to hear from Shez and Ducker with that sideline report, and then let you and Darren Uzel do your thing. So I'll step away. I appreciate you guiding us through this Animal Health Clinic halftime show.
Healthy pets, happy people, exceptional medicine, compassionate care. That's our motto at the Animal Health Clinic in Picayune. Located at 500 Kelly Road, we are equipped with the latest veterinary technology and provide a full menu of animal health services, including after-hours emergencies. Dr. Alan Smith invites you to join our clinic family by checking out our website at ahcpicayune.com or calling us at 601-799-1300.
At Planet Home Lending, you are more than just another transaction. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a veteran using VA benefits, or buying a secondary home, they have a home loan program that fits your needs. Planet Home Lending proudly serves Picayune and Pearl River County with FHA home loans, VA loans, USDA housing loans, and more. Give Melissa Rubel a call at 601-276-5058 or stop by their office located at 219C Telly Road in Picayune. Planet Home Lending will get you home. Tim Craft Health Benefits, located at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune, inside Stewart Insurance Agency, is a locally owned and operated Medicare health plan and health insurance business serving Mississippi and Louisiana for 2 decades. Our 15-year presence in downtown Picayune ensures that important decisions such as your health care, your transition to Medicare, and your Medicare journey are made in person at our office with Tim and his staff. Our office is open Monday through Friday and offers our clients a location to visit for the initial appointment and service after the sale. We have health insurance plans to fit all situations and budgets, from ACA marketplace plans to off-exchange fully underwritten PPO policies. Tim can get you covered. Looking for the right Medicare plan? Tim is appointed with all the supplement, advantage, and prescription drug companies in Mississippi and Louisiana. And since every situation is different, we make sure that you choose the plan that best fits your needs. Consultations are always free. Schedule today at 601-273-0649 or stop by our office at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune. Tim Craft Health Benefits, serving Mississippi and Louisiana for all your Medicare health plan needs.
Maroon Tide received the Jeremy Shesby here alongside Greg Ducker on the Maroon Tide halftime show. Nothing says South Mississippi first week of football like a really funky start, and that's exactly what we got here, Greg. Maroon Tide received the opening kickoff, take it the distance, tackled on the 1 yard line. There was a penalty back on our side of the field that was against the Maroon Tide. They're going to say that we fumbled the ball, though, on the 1 yard line. A very questionable call, but we'll leave it at that. They're going to say that Gulfport Admirals pick it up in the end zone for a touchback, and then it's really a defensive matchup from there. The Tide defense, Greg, on my side have looked pretty good. There's a couple young guys that have really grown from last year, Grayson Alls being one of them. But we played some pretty good defensive ball. Offense has not been able to really move the ball well. We had one long drive right at 9 minutes and 26 seconds, had 4 fourth down conversion tries. They stopped us on the last one on the 19-yard line.
Yeah, definitely kudos to the defense. They have really improved. You can tell from last year. We know that Seth has really worked with them and seen those young guys, like you said, really mature. So the big problem was on that touchdown that they gave up, they were tired. They were gassed because they spent so much time in the first quarter and part of the first and the second on the field. And like you said, with offensive production, we're just not used to seeing Zay Dennis held to less than 70 yards in a first half. We've got to improve up front. We've got those young guys that are on the line, missing assignments. We've made some mistakes with turnovers and flags at pivotal points. So we really want to see at halftime the adjustments on the offensive line. You can tell the senior leaders on the offensive line some frustration with the younger guys missing assignments. So we're going to see those seniors step up and bark out that leadership at half and hopefully get things turned around.
Yeah, something not uncommon to see the first week, but you still don't want to see it, right, is the penalties. We've had several penalties. I don't know what the count is, but Maroon Tide have had multiple penalties on the offensive side of the ball, and they fumbled it twice. So that's not something that you want to see. One thing that I'm looking for coming into the second half, Greg, it's a hot, sticky night here in South Mississippi. There's a lot more white jerseys on the other side than there are maroon on our side. Let's see what the conditioning is like for the Maroon Tide, because they're going to have to go the distance, and a lot of these guys are playing both ways.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jeremy. We're going to see how the summer has paid off for these guys. They've been out here in hot temperatures. We know Gulfport has too, but we're going to see what really hits on the turf tonight. As far as the second half goes, like you said, Admirals have a lot more, but we got to find fight. We've got to find fight and dig down deep and correct some mistakes in the first half.
One thing I can guarantee you is it's going to be an exciting second half here at Picayune Memorial High School, as we've got 2 more quarters to play. We're going to pass it back up to Slick and Darren.
Got to hear from Jeremy Shesby and Mr. Greg Ducker on their analysis of the first half. Based off of some of the things they said, how did you see it, and what would you add to or maybe go a different route with some of the things that they brought up to us?
I agree with everything they said, Rick. I mean, they I guess you can say described it exactly as it's going down on the field. You see some senior leadership as well as you see some young line. I know Coach Stock has mentioned it already. We got some youngsters up there playing ball, and tonight is their first night under the lights on a Friday night. You can tell, but you also see the senior leadership, as Greg brought up earlier in the halftime show. So that's encouraging. But it is the first game of the season, and it's exciting to have football back, Rick. And that's really, getting back into the groove on Friday night, and this time of year is special. And I know there's going to be some ups and downs even in this broadcast, as well as the coaching of the team. And there's, trying to work out the kinks here and there. So it's the usual first game of the year. So yeah. I think we're going to be okay. I'm thankful that we're down just 7-0. There's a lot of things we can clean up at the half inside that locker room, and I think they'll come out playing ball. It's just I'm just glad to be here. To be honest with you.
Look, and I agree with all of that, and I'll just echo one of the things that Greg Ducker said that I thought was said very well. I think the defense giving up the 7 points they did was just them being gassed. I mean, we're in a situation where we're in the second quarter, and we've literally ran 8 offensive possessions.
Yes.
That's not a lot of time. It's hot out here.
It's hot. It's humid, man.
Hot out here. But I tell you, man, I'm plumb giddy that we turn the ball over twice, one deep in our own side of the field.
Yes.
And you're only down 7-0. Oh, and by the way, Jamari Hawthorne's not even playing. He's not even in this game. He's that big body kind of change of pace back to spell Zay. I think we're in pretty good shape. I've been very, very impressed with the defense tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Rick. That defense is I'm giddy, as you just mentioned earlier. I'm giddy over this defense. They're looking really good. And as far as this offensive line, I'm gonna tell you, it seems like I know when Peyton Wells and Dante and all that bunch was juniors, and when it really clicked with them was that George County game. You remember?
Yeah,
We went and watched them. It just seemed something happened, and that was a few games into the season of 21. So, these guys are going to put it together, and then when we see them click, they're going to click, and they got the talent to do some great things. And you can have one of the best backs in the nation, Rick, as we do in Zay. But if that line, if your line ain't pushing and getting the blocks, it don't matter really who's back there.
No, and look, we knew that the strength of this defense was going to be that D line for Gulfport. And look, they're rotating guys in and out. A lot of guys, 3-4 guys coming in, 2 or 3 plays, keeping people fresh. So we're seeing that. That's a big issue there as well. I mean, this is one of the better fronts you'll see probably all year.
There's no doubt.
On defense.
Yeah.
And then I like the play. Jerry Mark had a big sack.
Yeah, he did.
Got some pressure on Wolverton, the sophomore. I think that shook him a little bit. And Grayson Austin played well from his linebacker position.
Yes, he's one of them ones Shez mentioned and growing. He really has. He's wrapping up this year.
Yeah,
he really
and
is.
boy, Foxworth too, man.
Yep.
Like the young guy coming in, he's made some big plays, but a lot of plays that I think would have resulted in really big gains at this time last year. We've been able to tackle better, so
yeah,
I like where we're at here. Going to be a very exciting second half. I told Clay right before the break, you look for like more offense, but it's been just an old slugfest here.
It has been
it's
been
one that it's going to be definitely one in the trenches tonight. But we're about 8 minutes here. Maroon Tide band, proud of the Maroon Tide. They're on the field here, so we'll take another break. When we come back, Darren Uzo will look around here and we'll look at some scores around the coast in our district, see how things are shaping up. We're into our Animal Health Clinic halftime show, brought to you by the Talking Ball Yall Media Group. Back in 2 minutes.
Tim Craft Health Benefits, located at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune, inside Stewart Insurance Agency, is a locally owned and operated Medicare health plan and health insurance business serving Mississippi and Louisiana for 2 decades. Our 15-year presence in downtown Picayune ensures that important decisions such as your health care, your transition to Medicare, and your Medicare journey are made in person at our office with Tim and his staff. Our office is open Monday through Friday and offers our clients a location to visit for the initial appointment and service after the sale. We have health insurance plans to fit all situations and budgets, from ACA marketplace plans to off-exchange fully underwritten PPO policies. Tim can get you covered. Looking for the right Medicare plan? Tim is appointed with all the supplement, advantage, and prescription drug companies in Mississippi and Louisiana. And since every situation is different, we make sure that you choose the plan that best fits your needs. Consultations are always free. Schedule today at 601-273-0649 or stop by our office at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune. Tim Craft Health Benefits, serving Mississippi and Louisiana for all your Medicare health plan needs.
Thanks for stopping by Marcia Picayune. We're proud to be your family-owned GM Superstore, serving Mississippi and Louisiana with new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here, you're more than just a customer, you're part of the Marcy family. We offer a family-friendly atmosphere backed by GM-certified parts and service and a team that's here to help you every step of the way. Marcia Picayune, it's small-town-friendly service with big-time savings.
All right, we're back, folks, here. We're about the 5-minute mark here to go in our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Darren Uzell is going to have some scores for us from. We'll take a look at the Coast 7A. We'll look at our district as well, and we'll even check in and see how the Poplarville Hornets are doing.
Yeah, Rick. Let's look at 7A. 7A. We all know Ocean Springs got beat pretty good last night, 47-9. You got D'Iberville right now playing Rally Lines. D'Iberville's up at halftime, 14-0. Biloxi Indians are playing Holmes County Jaguars, and we'll see them here just in a few weeks. They're winning in the second quarter, 19-7. They're up, and of course, 7-0 here at Picayune against Gulfport. 6A. 6A, we have PRC and Wayne County going at it. 14-14 at halftime. It's all knotted up there. George County and Gaucher 0-0 is what it's showing here. Pass Christian and Long Beach 14-3 is what we're looking at halftime. Pass Christian leading that one over the Long Beach Bearcats. Moss Point, Pascagoula. Pascagoula's leading that one in the second quarter, 21-0. And then you got Hancock playing the Stone Tomcats. Hancock is up 23-21. Pretty close one there, Rick. And Poplarville, 27-0 at halftime over West Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things that crossed my mind as you're going through that. You know, you've got Pass, who's been a pretty good team, a playoff team.
Yeah.
One of the better quarterbacks on the coast on that roster, and Long Beach hanging in there pretty good. I mean, Long Beach was tough last year. Look to see an improved Long Beach squad. Interesting to see the barn burner going with Wayne County and Pearl River Central. That sounds like a good one.
And that's in Waynesboro.
Yeah, that's in Wayne County. Is a tough place to play for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the other score that caught my attention too was just Stone. Stone's got their new field, so really good for those guys. Man, been having to travel to play for a long time. Former Poplarville defensive coordinator there, taking that job, and seems to be building a good thing there. We got about 3 minutes here to go in our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. We always want to thank Dr. Alex Smith and his crew for being our sponsor. Any parting words for you for the second half?
Run the ball. Here's the thing, Rick. It's hot. It's humid. But if you get hit enough, you're going to kind of back up a little bit. And we're going to see what kind of dogs we got up front. And we're going to see what kind of dogs Gulfport has up front here in the second half. Because, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some cramping because it really is humid. But
it feels like temperature of 101, I think, at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. But honestly, I think, it's just second half, and you get hit enough, you're going to get tired, and we'll see what Gulfport, what they have, and what we have is really going to tell the tale. But 7-0, I'm proud of it, man. I'll take it.
I agree. And I think it's going to be hard to say a whole lot negative about, especially the way this defense has played in the first half. But I think you go back to what Coach Stogner said in his pregame interview with Clay. He said, "I want to see effort, and we got to limit the mistakes." And I think it was kind of dirty at times with sloppy with penalties, but you fix some of that stuff, come out, and I think we'll see a good second half of football.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good second half, Rick. I'm just glad it's football season.
I am too, man. Always good to have you up here with us. Thanks for joining us, brother. And that's gonna do it for our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Picayune gonna come in trailing in the third quarter, 7-0 to the visiting Gulfport Admirals. Second half on its way after this commercial break.
Roll Tide, roll.
Need a plumber? Let Harold's Plumbing help you with that. Whether it's new construction or just a plumbing repair, Harold can make it happen. Harold's Plumbing is licensed and can do both residential and commercial jobs. Give Harold's Plumbing a call at 601-273-0598 and let him handle all your plumbing and septic tank services.
When life throws you the unexpected, you need a legal team you can trust. Turn to Alexander and Cruz, your hometown law firm proudly serving Picayune and the surrounding communities. Conveniently located at 1016 6th Avenue, they're here to help with estate planning, probate, personal injury, and both civil and criminal matters. Get the guidance and representation you deserve from a team that knows your community. Call Alexander and Cruz today at 769 242 2500. That's 769 242 2500. Alexander and Cruz, local attorneys, trusted results.
A lot goes into powering this community. That's why your Touchstone Energy Cooperative wants you to know we've got you. It's a pledge to make sure you're always taken care of. A pledge we honor every day. From our member service representatives to our linemen and those making sure the power you use is there when you need it. We've got you. Always.
Brought to you by Coast Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Hunter Gill Construction LLC is a licensed Mississippi home builder that specializes in new construction, roofing, and remodeling across the Mississippi Gulf Coast and surrounding areas. At Hunter Gill Construction, they are incredibly grateful for their clients who trust them to bring their visions to life. From the first conversation to the final details, their goal is to always provide quality work, clear communication, and an experience their clients can feel good about. Look them up on Facebook at Hunter Gill Construction LLC or give Hunter a call at 601-916-4554.
It feels good to buy local. Whether you're supporting your community small businesses, family-owned restaurants, or Farm Bureau Insurance, the local agents at Farm Bureau Insurance are dedicated to always helping you protect what's important. Farm Bureau Insurance is headquartered right here in Mississippi, with local agents in your community. If you're shopping for car, home, or life insurance, or a new health plan in the Poplarville area, call Kate Amaker at 601-795-4585. Or if you're in the Picayune Carrier area, call Colin Pinton, Colby Hawthorne, or me, Ross Gilbo, at 601-798-2861. And go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau Casualty, Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi.
Making decisions on when and where to further your education is a big step in life, so let Pearl River Community College be the destination for you. Pearl River offers the first 2 years of any major and over 42 career and technical programs. They have 3 locations to better serve your educational needs. The Hancock Center at 454 Highway 90 Suite D in Waveland, the Forest County Center at 5448 Highway 49 South in Hattiesburg, and the main campus located at 101 Highway 11 North in Poplarville. Pearl River Community College. Roll, River, roll. Protecting your personal belongings is a basic human instinct. You've worked hard for what you have. At Executive Storage, we are dedicated to providing you true, secure storage options and peace of mind. With 2 convenient locations to choose from, you can trust us to protect your personal, family, and business assets. Give us a call today at 601-798-4000 and let us help you protect your most prized possessions.
Back here at Lee Triplett Stadium, tail end of our Animal Health Clinic halftime show, and just like our buddy Alan Smith said, how about those Blue Devils? 14-14. Them and Wayne County up the road there at Wayne County. And so we appreciate Dr. Alan Smith and his support of the program, even if it's an intense support at times. But 14-14, Pearl River Central and Wayne County. You've probably given that score, Ricky Whitaker. But our score at the break, 7-0 Tide trail it. Going to kick it off to get things started. If you'll remember, Tide got it first, and Zayden Foxworth, in his typical fashion, electrified this place all the way to about the 1-yard line before it was ripped away. And now, I mean, you look at it, the first play of the game goes differently. We're tied up, right?
Yep.
But it did not, so Tide going to kick it off, trailing by a score. Edgar Cruz, with his first kickoff of the season, had over 30 touchbacks a year ago. Here, an onside kick, And Gulfport going to climb the ladder and grab it at the 46, but Tide coaching staff kind of went into their bag of tricks there at the break, come out with an onside kick to try to steal an extra possession. Credit Gulfport, though, Rick. I'm not going to say not surprised by it, but they were certainly in the right spot, and an upback made a nice play on the football.
Yeah, I like the play call. I don't really think that it surprised them. We know Gulfport ran a kickoff back on us last year. They've got some weapons back there, especially Peyton. But, hey, I think this says I believe my defense can get a stop regardless, whether they get it on near the 50-yard line or we pin them deep. So I like the call.
Yeah, me too, especially if it went the other way. It did not. But me and you are normally going to just keep it real and not let the results kind of dictate our commentary. Here it comes to the right. And when I say that, we're not going to second guess. We kind of give our initial thoughts, what we saw at first blush, and not let the returns kind of tell us and make us look dumber or smarter. I'm not sure what that says about us, but that's kind of the way we operate up here. Gulfport with a 6-yard run over to the right side, get it across midfield.
Yep, open up with a stretch play. They've had some success with that play.
Yes, they have. Second and medium here kind of opens up the playbook. You'll see a toss out to the left, and that's the first time the Tide tonight have not really secured, maybe twice, Rick, that I can remember that the Tide haven't made the tackle right at the point of the attack, and it cost the Tide defensively about 5 or 6 extra yards.
Yeah, it did, and that Perrier's been pretty solid the first half, had a really nice first half, but that time maybe thought he was going to get some help, and it just didn't get there.
2 wides to the bottom of the stream, 1 to the top. Now you'll send Stubbs from right to left in the formation. Saw this play earlier in the ball game, a bit more success here. 30, 25, 20, that's a hole. 10, they didn't flag it though, did they, Rick? I thought we were held out at the point of attack, but a flag did not come out. The wide receiver on this side really had a handful of our jersey. No flag on the play, gets it to the 10. It's a beautifully designed play. The wide receiver kind of told on himself on the stream. He did that, I didn't do it, that you see your kids do at home right after they've done something. But the flag did not come out. And Gulfport gets it to the 10. It'd be 1st and goal just inside the 10. Trying to add to this 7-0 advantage. 10:44 to go here in the third quarter. Here's Frederick. He's got room. A cut at the 2. Flag comes out. Maybe a makeup call. We'll see. He was at the 2 and tried to knife in. Rick unable to do so, but a flag from back behind a white hat, that's normally a hold.
And boy, what a block to kick his man out by Frost. They've been using him. He goes in motion. Just been a blocker tonight, but boy, he has been a good one, opening up some paths.
2 football kids in front of us tonight. I called them basketball kids in the first half, but him and Jeremiah Mark for the Tide have both kind of proven themselves. Had a good opening half, and that will be a hold, and that's a big one, Rick. It was 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line. It's going to back Gulfport up to the 15. There's a spot of the foul penalty, of course. Here you're going to bring 3 guys from the right to the left. Stubbs on the tail end of it. It's going to be a give to Frederick trying to run behind all that humanity. And it'll get him to the 7. That's pretty clever, right, Rick? You had that bunch formation over to the right that all picks up, moves over to the left, and then you just run right behind it.
Yep. We've seen that with that trip screen that they've ran a few times. It's just numbers, trying to get numbers on bodies. Very similar. That's really how Picayune operates. You try to put the numbers in your favor.
Pistol formation as they'll sneak the tailback back behind Wolverton. And a great move by Frederick at about the 6, going to buy him a touchdown. He made a move at the 6, Rick, where he was in trouble but escaped it with a bounce out to the left and going to have a touchdown run, about an 8-yard variety. A really good move in middle of that run, about the 6 or the 7-yard line.
Yeah, we see how athletic he is, and we didn't expect that he would get anything maybe over 10 touches tonight, but very similar to what we've seen in the past with how Gulfport operates with their lead backs. They make the most out of their opportunities.
Absolutely. Snap back's good. The hold is good. The kick is up, and it's good. Get it out to a 14-0 advantage for the Admirals. And Rick, when you look at it, the onside kick gave the Admirals a shortened field, and they were able to pay it off in a good drive. Done a good job on the ground at times tonight. That's a pretty good combo, right, of Frederick and JoJo Thomas for the Admirals. Frederick getting the bulk of the work there. Get it out to a 14-0 advantage. Tide, we've talked about it. I think the defense has played well. That certainly weren't their best drive defensively. And now Gulfport stretched this thing out. Tide need a response, Rick. We haven't really had to plead for that with just a touchdown lead, but now trailing by 2. It's early in the ball game still, but you don't want to get too far behind this group, not with a heavy rushing attack that the Tide will use. We'll see what plays out. Kind of a weird angle for the setup of this kick off the foot of Killebrew. Takes 2 steps and punches it down to the 16. That's where Foxworth will grab it. Foxworth at the 25 makes a good cut, and the ball's loose. Fumbles it away. Going to be picked up at the 31. Been electric when he's had it, Rick, but has put it on the ground after a very long return. The first play of the game. Here's going to fumble it at about the 35-yard line and actually be dove on at about the 31, and Gulfport with a really short field here.
Yeah, and man, no one hates it more than him, Clay. Just trying to do too much. He kind of reminds me of a young version of Mr. Durrell, the guy who thought if he had the ball in his hands, he could score from anywhere. And a little bit of youth there we see, but boy.
What a great recall by you. That's pretty spot on when Rail would get some early touches, and that's a really good recall from you. And if it works out, we'll take a lot of that in the long run. At bunch formation over the right once again. Wolverton's rolled to his right. He's looking to throw, going to throw it back to his left side. Ball thrown way up in the air and just going to high point it about the 8, and a nice catch made. That was Camden Morgan able to just go over the safety of the Tide and make the play. It hung up for a long, long time.
Yeah, and he's in good position. Just got spun around a little bit and lost track of the ball.
If the ball's, this is going to sound crazy, the ball's thrown better, Foxworth is actually in a really good spot, but it wasn't. It wasn't even, I don't think, an intended back shoulder throw, but that's what it turned into. All that to say Gulfport has it 1st and goal down to the 7-yard line of the Tide, looking to go up 21-0 against the Tide. Tide need a turnover, something good to happen here defensively. Wow, what a read and reaction there. Coming hot off the edge with a big hit and a nice play for the Tide. That was Merrill making a big hit. Rick dropping him all the way back to about the 12-yard line. Merrill with a really good reaction. Gets it now to 2nd and goal back to the 12. See if the young quarterback will throw it to the guys dressed in maroon here. That's kind of what the Tide need. Not going to get that opportunity. It'll be JoJo Thomas trying to go from left to right, and he'll be able to for a 12-yard touchdown run and get this one out to 20-0. Nope, hold your horses. Flag on the far side. We'll see what the penalty is over on the 12. On that far sideline. Stubbs is pleading his case. That's the wide receiver out that way. The killer from Gulfport's perspective is that's about as far as you can get from the actual point of attack, Rick. I mean, where the flag's laying is, 30 yards from where the touchdown occurred.
Yeah, here come the Boo Birds on the Gulfport side, but
boy, we could really use this penalty, though, couldn't we?
Need it, yep.
It's going to wipe a touchdown off the board potentially.
Yeah, it's a jet sweep type look or an end around. You may call it that way as well. And then, 21's not even anywhere near the play.
No, the flag's laying on about the 12 on the Tide sideline, and really all the action was near the Gulfport sideline where Thomas is making his move to free himself. But it will be a touchdown, a racing flag, and a back Gulfport up to the 16-yard line and keep it at a 14-0 ball game. Shotgun formation. Tailback off the right hip of Wolverton. That was Thomas. Here's Frost with his first catch of the ball game. He's flipped over at about the 3-yard line. Smallest guy on the largest guy. That was Foxworth with absolutely no fear taking on Frost. The difference, just for comparison-wise, Aiden Foxworth listed at 5'5", 137. Frost, the catcher of the football, 6'7", 265, Rick, and was able to upend him before he was able to score. Sets up a 3rd and short, though. 3rd and goal from about the 2.5. Wolverton going to call his own number. Stuck, though, right at the point of attack and held on to. Look at this fight for the tie. Going to set up a 4th and goal.
Great play there by the defense, and that's DeMario Hodges. He sticks his head in there and makes a play. And you go back to the other play, Clay. I think if I'm Mr. Frost, you got to tip your cap to what Mr. Foxworth just did to you.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to.
And the thing about it, too, Rick, they'll both see each other on the hardwood. Foxworth going to be a tremendous guard for the Tide. Frost, a really good post player. We got a good dose of that getting to cover Gulfport basketball a year ago. That's Mark. No, it's not. Jeremiah's on his feet. Excuse me for doing that. Jeremiah is limping. He did lay there for a moment, but he's limping off. We do have a Tidesman being stretched out. Rick, can you get a number on him laying? You can see it better on the stream than the naked eye, but I can't identify him just yet.
I'm trying to see who's not in the huddle, and that might be Hodges. The man that made the tackle.
Just made the stop.
Nope, there's Hodges in the back. It's not him.
You've got representative out there. That is our free app. And I say free because that man in your frame there, Ernie Landrum over at Picayune Physical Therapy, takes care of the price for you to enjoy that app. We appreciate Picayune Physical Therapy. And now Edgar was the Tide trainer.
Yeah, maybe Zay Richardson.
That's him. That's Zay. Once he got that helmet off, and call him Rich. Zay Rich. We went through the number 1 through 10. The Tide have.
We always say
three
it, man.
young men that you can refer to as Zay.
Maybe I do it more than you do, but if you never want to speculate on when someone's on the ground, but boy, it just looks like they're stretching cramps out.
Yeah, it's right after that.
How can you blame? The kid's so hot out here.
Yeah, it's kind of like in family discussions when say, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, and then right after that, you got to flinch. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Boy, Rick, 7:09 left. Gulfport leads this one 14-0, and it's 4th and goal from about a yard out. Can the Tide have something good happen here? You've got Frost over on the right side. You'd be tempted to run behind him, but instead they'll work off the left side, and Frederick going to be able to sneak it in. That was clever because I'm thinking right, and everybody went right instead of Wolverton and Frederick. Frederick actually got a direct snap there and was able to score from a yard out. Clever play design.
Yep. Good play, and Gulfport doing all their damage. That's their 3rd rushing touchdown on the night.
Wouldn't have been able to sell me that either, but they've been able to, when it matters most, punch it in on the ground. PAT is up, and it is good. So Gulfport going to take a 21-0 lead. We'll return. 6:54 left in the 3rd quarter. Plenty of time for the Tide to fight back, but going to have to start to do that with their next possession.
Friday Night Lights, hometown pride, and neighbors you can count on. That's what makes our community special. And that's exactly what you'll find at FNB Picayune Bank, your hometown bank. With 4 convenient branches in Picayune, you'll always see the same friendly faces ready to help, whether it's everyday checking or big life goals. Visit fnbop.com or stop by today, where banking feels like home. Tim Craft Health Benefits, located at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune, inside Stewart Insurance Agency, is a locally owned and operated Medicare health plan and health insurance business serving Mississippi and Louisiana for looking.
Sorry, Timmy Kraft. He'll understand. He's been part of a radio broadcast before. We'll double him up, but had to come back to the kickoff. This one's going to be bounced out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. That will result in a flag. And pretty good starting field position for the Tide. And, Rick, I know normally we're begging for one of those patented Picayune Maroon Tide drives, but I'm going to switch my wish here. I'm going to go for one of them patented electric Zay Dennis rip-off home run type runs here and get it done quickly. And then I'll take a few of those patented drives to try to work us back in. But I could use a quick hitter here from Mr. Dennis.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Easier said than done against this Gulfport defense, though, right?
Yeah, man, they have been as advertised tonight and just got so many kids, so many capable kids that they can rotate in to keep fresh legs out there, too. That doesn't make it any easier.
Burnett at the fullback position. Back behind him is Zay Dennis, and they're trying to do that. There's the sweep. Out to the 40 goes Dennis. He paid the price too slick. He was driven into the ground at the 40 after a 5-yard pickup. And that's what Gulfport's been able to do. It's not that they've completely shut Zay down, but they have been able to not give up the long ball. It's been all singles tonight for Dennis.
Yep, limited the big threat of the big plays that he's very capable of. See if he can't break one, though, here on this drive.
I would love to see it from the 40. He's got another shot at it. Driven down at about the 41-yard line. And I'm talking about driven down, Rick. These last 2 hits from him, a defensive lineman on this one tries to pick Dennis up and slam him through. Such a tough player is Zay Dennis. Just a gain of a couple. We're going to have the heat timeout here. We'll keep it. Tyler Alexander at Alexander and Cruz heat timeout. And, Rick, I felt like we had a lot of good things happen in the first half, but we survived the turnovers. Here, a bit different turnover, and then the onside kick decision, and Gulfport cashed them both in, right? And that's where you look up and find yourself down 21-0. This is a crucial third down that's going to come on the other side of the heat timeout.
Yeah, it has. I mean, in Picayune defense, we thought they played very well in the first half and came out, and Gulfport, really just given all they had in the first half to come up with 7 points, but they've scored on both of their possessions here to open it up. A little bit demoralizing. Maroon Tide just gotta hang in there.
You look at 20 for Gulfport, and I hadn't done a good enough job of calling him out. DeAndre Williams, a heck of a football player. He is some kind of good. Maybe not the right size to garner a ton of offers, but when you look at a high school linebacker, he's what you want. Dennis trying to get out here to the left side. Can he make the corner? He's got enough for the first down and going to sail out at about the 41-yard line. Dennis showing off his speed against this defensive team speed to even be able to get the corner, makes the corner, and gets it to the 43-yard line. Zay's probably biggest run of the night.
Yeah, it was. That was good for 16 yards.
And when that's his biggest run of the night, and I may not be correct on that, but
yeah, it is.
That's a good team defense to limit him to that. Such a special back. Rayburn going to tuck under center. Give it to the second guy through. That's Foxworth. Foxworth trying to dance a bit to pick up what he can, and what he can is just a couple yards. His defensive bodies just keep coming.
Yeah, it's that big sophomore we were talking about, the 4-star.
Yeah, man, they got a ton of stars on this squad. That's Jordan Fernandez, 6'3", 300 pounds, right? Can you imagine playing ninth grade football a year ago? He looked just about like that, too. That's why the stars were already pinned to him. And the Tide took a regular season game against them in the ninth grade classification. Couldn't pull off the championship. 2nd and 6. Here's Foxworth again. Oh, he'll keep coming. He stood up, though, right at the point of attack. Speaking of keeping coming, there's 91 again. He's lineman and Nick Strickland, 6'2", 300 pound. You'd think they'd be worn out a bit at this time, Rick, but we don't have our normal pitch count. We just hadn't possessed it enough to kind of lean on them. And then they rotate so many guys in. They've been able to stay pretty fresh defensively.
Yeah, they really have.
Tide facing a 3rd and 6. Rayburn's rolled out, looking to throw, going to overshoot. And that's a late hit, going to overshoot Dennis. And Dennis doing the right thing. He's going to have a word after that one. I don't blame him. It's the young man I was just bragging about. In a college game and a pro game, that's an automatic flag. Williams survives a late hit on Dennis here. Ball had bounced 3 times.
Yep.
And then went ahead and
had plenty of time to let up there.
No doubt. 4th down, Rick. You got to go for it. You probably would anyway. Tucked inside the 40 of your opponent. We're at the 4:12 mark after the incomplete pass. The clock is stopped. Tide may throw it again here. May go back-to-back passes. Rayburn going to pitch it out on a strung-out option-type look. And Dennis, not his fault. There was nowhere to go. Once Rayburn gave it to him out that way, he's going to lose about 4 or 5 yards. That's the play that I kind of pointed out that Rayburn may give it to him earlier in the ball game, and he had the sideline. This time it was overwhelmed for either option. Not Rayburn's fault, just too many Admirals out there, and we'll turn the Tide over on downs.
Yeah, ends up being a big loss.
Gulfport going to make a lot of teams look like this offensively this year. It was the key to their success. It was a heavy dose of Crosby, as good a back in the state a year ago. And then this defense that won Coach Pinnock and this group a lot of games, got them a 7A state title. Tide, though, Rick, hadn't shown me anything that tells me that we're going to be in bad shape this season. That may sound crazy, trailing 21-0, but it's the way I feel. It's going to be across midfield after a good run after catch by Frederick. Frederick took a second there to kind of get going, to get those shoulders squared back up, but when he does, he's a load. You heard Cody talk about a former linebacker playing tailback, and that's kind of how he plays that position.
Yeah, big kid, too. He's a 200-pound body.
2nd and short. See if Gulfport Dayton take a shot here with a 2nd and short. Nope, they'll keep it on the ground. And that's the change-up. Thomas, who's been good tonight. He's been really good. He was good a year ago with Biloxi. That's a heck of a 1-2 combo. That's not what they did last year. It was heavy Cooper Crosby. And then you had Nettles, who was a senior who could throw the football all around. Yeah. But they'll lean on these two backs.
Oh, yeah, they've been easily 65, say maybe 65-35 run versus pass tonight.
And when you're letting a young quarterback kind of grow up, that's a good balance to have. 3 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter, 21-0. I'm not sure you can motion like that, but they're going to allow him to get away with it. Him being Morgan, maybe because he didn't shift up. Ball loose. Did the Tide get on it? Boy, this is going to sound like the poor Maroon Tide announcer, Rick.
Yeah.
But there's been 2 of those that, when you look at it, like the Tide are all over it. There was one that popped up in the air in the first half on the scoring drive from Gulfport that the Tide weren't able to get on. And then here, you're all over the football, just not on top of it if you're Merrill, and Gulfport going to keep possession. Does lose a few yards. 2nd and long now. Going to put it right in the belly. And that's a good tackle made on that Gulfport sideline. It's a good play design, too. If you're not going to hand it to JoJo Thomas, get it in his belly through a short pass.
Yeah, we've seen that, too, several times tonight. That's kind of a simple play. It's like a sprint rollout.
And what it's doing, right, and you can correct me, you're the football guy, but Wolverton, a young quarterback, he's a basketball kid. You're giving him some layups. The more layups you can see go through, then that three-pointer doesn't look quite as intimidating.
Yeah, and it's a really good play for him. He's athletic, and as we've already mentioned.
3rd and 10. Coach Pennant going to burn a timeout. We'll take him with it. We'll take the timeout with him. The Alexander and Cruz timeout. We'll return. 1:27 left in the 3rd quarter. Tide trailing Gulfport 21-0.
When life throws you the unexpected, you need a legal team you can trust. Turn to Alexander and Cruz, your hometown law firm proudly serving Picayune and the surrounding communities. Conveniently located at 1016 6th Avenue, they're here to help with estate planning, probate, personal injury, and both civil and criminal matters. Get the guidance and representation you deserve from a team that knows your community. Call Alexander and Cruz today at 769-242-2500. That's 769-242-2500. Alexander and Cruz, local attorneys, trusted results.
Still 1:27 left in the 3rd quarter, Rick. A lot can change in high school football with that much meat left on the bone. See if the Tide can get something going. Gulfport with a 3rd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Tide desperately need a turnover, something good to happen. Here's Thomas trying to work from right to left, and he has to the tune of a big pickup. Gets it to the 25, going to make it 3rd. Nope, we're going to bring up 4th and short. Let's see where they move it all the way down to, Rick. They're spotting this one where it's just going to be 4th and 2 if the sticks are right. Didn't know that Thomas got that deep with the run, but he's been good tonight. It's running game for Gulfport. Kind of thought with Moto, the top corner for the Tide, Jamari Hathorn being out tonight, that would be a weak point, but that big offensive line from Gulfport's been able to move furniture enough to operate in space. 4th and short. They'll keep it on the ground. Bounced off a would-be tackler. And maybe that disruption in the backfield going to keep him from picking up
I don't think he
the
got
first
there.
down. Maybe the disruption. And was that DJ Durr back in the backfield on that defensive end, blowing up his blocker? It was Durr who was able to disrupt it enough. And that disruption, I think, is going to keep Gulfport from having the first down. That was sophomore DJ Durr, the younger brother of Zay Dennis. And what a play. Hadn't seen him a ton defensively, but made an impact there from the defensive end spot. Did the young pup, the sophomore. Great job by Durr to bounce it. Not sure who made the play on the far sideline, Rick, but Durr certainly got back in the backfield and disrupted that 4th down run. That's a big stop. See if the Tide offense can respond with some life here with 30 seconds left in the 4th.
Yep, got an opportunity here, and I think that's just Coach Pinnock telling his guys to see if they can go get it. Picayune's defense holds.
Going to try to bounce it out to the left side. Can't get it, and that's that man again. He's been some kind of good player for Gulfport. That is DeAndre Williams, the outside linebacker. He's just fast, Rick. I mean, he's a really good tackler, but it's his speed that separates him. He's not a huge kid, but his speed from that spot at 5'10", 195, he's as fast as a tailback, and you could see that on display there. That will close out the 3rd quarter. Tide looking for a big 4th quarter to climb back into this one. trailing 21-0 after the third quarter break. We'll return with your fourth quarter action.
A lot goes into powering this community. That's why your Touchstone Energy Cooperative wants you to know we've got you. It's a pledge to make sure you're always taken care of. A pledge we honor every day. From our member service representatives to our linemen and those making sure the power you use is there when you need it. We've got you. Always.
Brought to you by Coast Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
The days of hiding your money in a mattress or burying it in the backyard are long gone. Our friends at Bank Plus can help you save for a rainy day. Hurry in and let their friendly staff help you with all your banking needs. Stop by any of their locations today at 115 Williams Avenue and 951 Memorial Boulevard in Picayune or 105 North Main Street in Poplarville. Bank Plus is more than a name, it's a promise.
See what the Tide can do with a fresh 12 minutes on the fourth quarter clock. Plenty of work to be done, Rick. There's been some bright spots here in this week one matchup, but you're trailing by 3 scores. It's like the game, as it's gone along, the Gulfport defense has actually gotten stronger, it feels like.
Yeah, they certainly are finding their groove here, and Picayune offense and defense just seems to be kind of tired. Got to try to will it together here.
Which is so opposite. We've covered Picayune football, and, of course, you as a former player, I've watched a ton of it. That's hardly ever said that a defense would grow stronger, but we just haven't had the normal snap count with the turnovers tonight. Rayburn's rolled out looking to throw, tries in the flats, and it is picked off. I thought he was going to throw it in the flats, but he actually threw it back towards the middle of the field to Jerry Mark, and it was picked off. Well covered, and a nice pick by Gulfport. That's going to be the Tide's 4th turnover, Rick.
Yeah, 4th turnover of the night. And you said, I mean, when you have the turnovers on special teams, it takes a whole possession away from you. And then here we've had 2 other turnovers on the first or second play of the offensive possession. So you said it, man, just haven't had a lot of snaps tonight.
Yep, and what that combined with the ability of Gulfport just to use a bunch of guys defensively, to be late August, they look pretty fresh. Tide going to have to come up with a tough effort. I don't think the defense has played bad, Rick. You're trailing 21-0, but they've had a lot asked of them tonight. Here's Hales looking to throw, and he's got a guy open. That's Taylor. That's a layup for him. He'll catch it. Flag on the play. Hales came from left to right in what looked like a reverse initially, but you could see him gaining ground backwards to send up the pass. Hales to Taylor. That's 2 wide receivers hooking up. The sophomore Taylor, I believe that would have been his first varsity touchdown. We'll see what the flag is.
If it stands,
touchdown's good.
Stands would be a 32-yard touchdown from Hells to Seneca Taylor. I've been seeing him sneaking out there in single coverage. I wondered if they would give him a shot, and they do.
They did indeed, and it was a pretty well-thrown football from Hales' perspective. Hales is a good football player. You look at what he was able to do a year ago, over 800 yards receiving. He had 3 touchdowns. He's picking right up where he left off. He's got a touchdown in the passing ledger. I believe that's Seneca Taylor Jr.'s first varsity touchdown catch, and he's going to catch it from a guy he shares the wide receiver room with. And Hales, perfectly designed play and trying to throw kind of a knockout punch there, and the Tide took an uppercut to the chin on that reverse look that turns into a pass from the wide receiver. A lot to look at if you're a fatigued defense, and it gets it to a 28-0 score. Tide missing arguably the best defensive back on the squad when he's healthy. He's got some Division I offers. That's Jamari Hathorne. We refer to him as Moto. Tide won't make any excuses But if he had to pick a week or two during the season, you wouldn't circle this game for him to be out with this wide receiver core. Penalty was against the Tide after the fact, so Gulfport going to have the leisure of kicking this one off from the 45 of the Tide. It's Dennis and Foxworth with their heels at the 6-yard line. Foxworth on the left, Dennis on the right. This would be just kicked through the end zone. That was Shaw Killebrew able to boot it through. 11:45, Rick. And not that the Tide are into any kind of moral victories, but it's the first week. They say your biggest jump as a club's normally between that first and second week. And I would think that the Tide would kind of turn their attention towards that, not scoreboard watch, but try to build some positives here.
Yeah, I think that's well said.
Looks like Kendall Jett back at the tailback position. Maybe a bit of
maybe some personnel confusion there, but you mentioned Moto's absence tonight, Clay, and it's not just on the defensive side. He's that bigger body change of pace back that can spell Zay Dennis. I think we talked about this a little bit early offline, but we knew that Zay's touches would probably go up a little more than we would want them to because of the absence of Moto.
Yeah, what do you have, Zay Dennis, with touches-wise, Rick? Well, we've got a timeout on the field. I believe the Tide had to burn one there.
20 touches for 77 yards, just under 4 yards a carry. I mean, that hasn't been a bad night. It's just not what we're used to seeing from Zay. But, it's not going to get any easier next week against Jackson Academy. But your first couple of weeks, I mean, this might be some of the best defenses that you see. Certainly this Gulfport team is as advertised as we thought they would be.
Yeah, and I'll say this, just checking in 2 Jackson Academy games, I think their better groups, their offensive group, they're huge across the O-line. I don't think their defense is going to stack up like this. They may prove me wrong. I believe this is going to be one of the better athletic from sideline to sideline and just pure meanness, probably across the state, probably a top 10 defense across our state. We'll certainly hope so. See what the Tide can find some positives here with 11:40 left in this one. A good cutback, going to get it up near the 30-yard line. A good run made there. I'll have to see if that's not Kendall Jett with the carry. See who's headed back to the huddle with it. I believe that was Kendall Jett. It was. So Kendall with a nice pickup. If you talk about body change and off-season work, Kendall right at the top of the list. Just a much stronger looking frame for the junior and Kendall Jett. Worked hard this offseason.
9 yards on his first carry.
Trying to power ahead here to the right side. Gets it up beyond the yardage needed for the first down to the 32.
Runs into Mr. Fernandez, and boy, they're just the middle of this defense has been just staunch tonight. We found some creases at times through the outside, but boy, it's been just nothing going.
I don't know that they've had to play more than 2 consecutive plays, though, Rick. I mean, their third play, they're coming out. You know what I mean? Rotating in and doesn't get a whole lot lighter. Ja'Kai Hathorn going to be the lone wide receiver to the bottom of your frame. He's a sophomore. A.K. Burnett still at that fullback position there. I believe just his second carry, Rick, maybe third of the ball game. Not a whole lot doing for Burnett. Do you have him for 2 or 3? Can't be much more than that.
I believe that's going to be AK's second carry of the night.
Yeah, just his second touch. A bit surprising when you look at the way the Tide, but I think it speaks to just the lack of plays, period. The Tide just haven't possessed it. And I think Burnett is probably going to be about a 10 or 12 carry guy on some nights, maybe more than that, but just haven't had it a lot. 2 turnovers on kickoffs would do that. 2nd and 8 after a 2-yard pickup. Here's Jett, though. Jett looks good with the football. It's got it after a 9-yard gain, going to move the sticks. Go ahead, Kendall Jett. Build some positivity with less than 10 minutes to go in this one, 28-0. don't want to get shut out, Rick, regardless of who you're playing, but especially week one, right? You don't want to plant that seed week one.
Yep.
Picayune team that is a rare shutout anyways. Just this is a team that normally marks early and often. Look at the numbers up in the box on this 3rd and short for the Admirals. A bunch of G's up there. And Jet trying to work around it, but unable to do so, Rick. It's been a tight box all game long, but it was real evident there. Look at the helmets fly down on that 3rd and 2 opportunity. Turns it into a 4th and 3. Playing downhill was the defense. Tide going to go for it, and you would expect the same type helmet count in the box, right, Rick? Just going to have to dare you to throw it over their head on this 4th and short. Rayburn turns. He's going to give it a Jet. Jet powers forward right at the sticks. A helmet pops off of an Admiral. Had to make sure it wasn't a football the way that's kind of gone tonight for the Tide.
Check our replay camera. Watch what AK does to his man. He hadn't quit playing tonight.
No, he's got a motor that runs wide open. They're going to pull the sticks across. You've got a guy here. I'm not sure what the officials are looking at, but the young man with the helmet stayed back in the Picayune huddle for a long time. That's asking for trouble instead of kind of controlling the game to let these 2 Admirals hang out with the Tidesmen. They're not making plans for after the ball game, I don't believe. And it's neither group's fault. It's been a hard fault ball game.
Yeah, but
if
you
you're
take
dressed,
control of that.
if you're dressed like an official, you got to make something of that. And Tide didn't get it. We're about a half yard short. So going to turn the Tide away once again. In baseball, Rick, the old adage is earlier in the year that the pitching's always ahead of the hitting. And I think we've covered enough high school football to probably say defenses are usually ahead of the offense. Offense is a lot more timing and the intricacies of what has to take place for a play to work offensively.
Yep.
If you're mean fast and can get where you're supposed to be defensively, you've got half of that kind of figured out. And I think we've seen that tonight from both defenses and stages.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at their offense. It's the first time Gulfport's had a tight end in probably 10 years on their roster, and they got a big one. And they put their hands in the ground and ran the football.
Frederick once again going to do just as you said, break off about a 16-yard run up to the 26. Tide had good fan support here. So did Gulfport. Was a well-attended football game. Have another doozy next week with Jackson Academy coming to town. We appreciate Jackson Harrelson up top bringing you the views. Diamond Productions with their partnership on the stream once again this year. All of our sponsors for making it happen. We appreciate you taking in this action on week one. Clay Sweet, Ricky Whitaker with us. A good cut by Frederick. That cut's going to buy him up to about the 16-yard line. He's good looking back, Rick. Cooper Crosby's a hard to come by type of back. He was special in this Gulfport program, but Frederick and JoJo Thomas, they give you 2 different looks to kind of prepare for. They've got a good 1-2 duo in that backfield. Pistol formation. Wolverton going to give it to the just mentioned JoJo Thomas. Ball loose. Can the Tide jump on it? Nope. They cannot. And, Rick, there's been 3 of those, and we hadn't gotten any of them.
Just have not fell our way tonight.
And that may sound like the Picayune crew, but it's the truth. There's been 3 different times where Tide, probably if you were a betting guy and had to make odds at a screen shot or a still shot, would say, boy, Picayune's about 100% to get that football, and just haven't. For whatever way that the ball may have bounced, it hasn't bounced the Tide way. Now, that has almost nothing to do with the outcome of this one. Don't get that twisted. Gulfport's been better tonight. 28-0. Beautiful play design. Going to take a shot deep. Boy, he had Frost at the
He
6.
had Frost.
Wide open. Not sure what Frost did to him this week, but he had him at about the 6 wide open. But the youngster chose to throw it to the back of the end zone instead.
Yeah, he walks in there, Clay, untouched. And I don't know if our secondary player, I'm trying to get a number on who that was. That was Colby McDougal. I think he stepped in that direction, and maybe that made the young quarterback change his decision there. But either way.
Because he did think about it. You saw the
Yeah.
shoulder square that way for half a second. That's part of growing up. Anybody not buying stock in Wolverton at this point's not real smart. He's going to be a really good player for Gulfport. He's shown that through large stretches of the night. The thing he's done, Rick, has not helped Picayune. I mean, he's let Picayune, he stood over there and watched Picayune turn it over 4 times. He's yet to throw it to the guys in Maroon. And with the way that they're set up, if he'll do just that, he'll be in really good shape, and he's done that. I think that speaks to the type of player he's going to be.
Yeah,
6
I mean,
minutes.
we got some pressure on him. Mark had a big sack. And then we saw the play that you mentioned, the fumble that we thought we were going to recover. That was all. It's on a big hit on the quarterback. And when that happened, you saw the offense kind of change a little bit. They started going a lot more to the ground than we thought they were going to do tonight. I thought they might be more of a 50-50 mix, but, boy, has not been the case.
Nope, and it's been a good game plan from that perspective. 6:06 left in this one. Gulfport on top of our Picayune Maroon Tide, 28-0.
We might see the same play, Clay.
Yep, Frost is over there again on the right side. So is Frederick off the right hip. Nope, they'll give it to him. He'll sprint ahead and have a score as Frederick will go in. Pretty simple there. Just had Frederick come across the face of the quarterback and gave it to him. A 10-yard touchdown run for Frederick. Going to get it out to a 34-0 advantage as we await the point after. Gulfport has dominated this second half. Picayune hung around, really had some shots in the first half. Second half's been a different story. Snap back's good, the kick is up, and it's good. Get it out to a 35-0 advantage. 6:03 left in this one. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to Picayune Maroon Tide football with the Talking Ball Y'all crew.
Diamond Productions is a premier live production company specializing in audio, lighting, video, content development, and production management. With an uncompromising attention to detail and a standard of excellence that exceeds expectations, we deliver seamless events that engage, inspire, and impress. At Diamond Productions, the bar isn't set for us, it's set by us.
Need a plumber? Let Harold's Plumbing help you with that. Whether it's new construction or just a plumbing repair, Harold can make it happen. Harold's Plumbing is licensed and can do both residential and commercial jobs. Give Harold's Plumbing a call at 601-273-0598 and let him handle all your plumbing and septic tank services.
Back at Lee Triplett Stadium, Gulfport, the visiting Admirals on top of our Maroon Tide, 35-0. Rick, I don't want to look up there, but that looks like that clock's running, man. That just never happens to the Tide, much less at home, but I believe we've hit the running clock scenario.
Yep.
Maybe the only time that's happened was this Gulfport crew a few years back. They're able to get it out of hand against the Tide, but I'm not even sure if that one got this large a margin. So odd, too. Most of the half, I felt really, really good about the Tide. Still do in a lot of ways, but they're going to have to overcome kind of the mental hurdle of this one in that week 1 to 2. Staff's going to have a job ahead of it with a kind of younger club, maybe not necessarily with freshmen and sophomores on the rosters, but just Cody talked about it, the snaps played.
Yep.
We're going to have to reset, refocus. sometimes you're going to have to remind a team, even after a tough spot, the potential and how good they can be and get some belief pumped back in to these players dressed in the maroon and white tonight. And then Coach Pennick's going to fight the opposite fight, right? Gulfport's probably going to walk out of here. Some of those student athletes are going to feel like they could take on an SEC opponent. So the coach is going to fight each battle, preparing for week 2. 4:30 left in this one, 2nd and 8. Gabe Brewer going to be the lone wide receiver at the bottom of the formation. Coach Avery, the wing, over to the right. Burnett still in there at the fullback. It's been a heavy dose of Kendall Jett lately. Jett's run the ball hard too, Rick.
He has.
They're going to have to lean on Jett. I'm not sure when Hathorn will be able to add any to the rushing attack. Played a big part in the rush game last year. Jakai Hathorn going to run the play in from the sideline. 3:45 left in this ball game. Todd, we talked about it, going to take on JA next week. Right here, you can find us in the same spot. If you do us a favor, even if you're an opposing fan, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would help us a bunch. Jackson Harrelson up top, bringing you the views. Diamond Productions, our partner in the streaming. 14-14 was the last score we got with Pearl River Central and Wayne County. Forgive me, Rick, but did you have a Popperville score from the half?
27-0.
27
was up over West Harrison.
Boy, they've got a chance to put some kind of special year together for the north end of the county. Carrier brings back a really, really good playmaker at that quarterback position, and Mr. Titus Feaster.
Yep. Put him in there. I mean, you got him. You've got Pascal Cheyenne quarterback. You got the young man at Gaucher, and we got some good quarterbacks here on the state.
Yeah, the McNeil kid from Gaucher as a 9th grader was a special kid to watch. 2:45 left. There's going to be a timeout burned here. 4th and about 6. Yep, if you can gather us any kind of scores, Rick.
Yeah, Gaucher all over George County, 34-7. Third quarter barn burner going in Waynesboro tonight, 21-21 in the 4th. Pass Christian still up 14-3 on Long Beach. That's a team that's gotten a lot tougher as well in Long Beach. Pascagoula all over Moss Point, 38-0. A tight game now. Hancock was leading, still holding on to a small lead, 30-28 over the Stone Tomcats.
Edgar Cruz going to punt it away, fielded at about the 15-yard line, and a good return down this near sideline up to the 45-yard line. Gulfport band has been awesome all night long over to our left. The Maroon Tide band putting on the same type of show across the way. And the best cheerleaders in the whole country for the Maroon Tide under the leadership of Jessica Smith. Getting it done on the far side. And Caroline Nicholson, her husband Evan, bailed us out tonight. We needed a head baseball coach to run us a cord from the baseball field, and Evan was right on time. We appreciate that from Coach Nicholson. Maroon Tide cheerleaders, national champs from a year ago. Incredible feat from our incredible coach, Jessica Smith. Caroline Nicholson getting it done. Pistol formation for the Admirals. Going to just plow straight ahead up to near midfield. Speaking of scores, what about that Pearl River Community College score? Rick, from a night ago, Mr. Tyson got a 2-point conversion after a block kick. Played really, really good from the linebacker position.
Yeah,
so did the older kid from Pearl River Central, Kanan Uzel, on the money as usual with the long snaps. I may be missing a few local kids, but I know those 3 did their jobs last night and then some.
Yeah, we saw our buddy in the backfield too. Got some carries.
Cooper.
Mr. Cooper.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper, yep. Javion Bolden came in, played some snaps as well.
And the young buck, Mr. Foxworth, I think he got away with one there. Kind of a frustration helmet tear off there. It's on the sideline.
He did.
Hard
indeed.
to blame him. He just kind of flipped it back behind
Speaking
the
of
back.
getting away with one, Rick, PRCC may have got away with one. A kid they stole out of Baton Rouge, prepped at Central High School. He put on a show last night. There it is. That's going to do it for tonight's action. 35-0. Gulfport going to come in to lead Triplet and take this one in a big way. Going to dominate the Tide, particularly here in the second half. First half, Tide held their own and were right there, but the turnover margin, a 4-0 turnover margin here in the opening week, Rick, against the defending 7A state champs, and pulled away 7-0 at the half, but the final is going to be 35-0. Gulfport takes the win tonight.
Yeah, it was 7-0 at the half, as you mentioned. Felt like Picayune still very much in the ball game, but the Admirals come out and they score on their first possession. Frederick goes in from 12 yards out, make it 14-0, and then very similar to the way the kickoff started in the first half, opening kickoff of the second half, it's fumbled, so you lose a possession there. Maroon Tide throws an interception on their second possession. Frederick goes in 2 more times for touchdowns, and then Hale, as a wide receiver, hooks up on a wide receiver reverse pass and finds Seneca Taylor for 32 yards. Frederick goes in again to make it 35-0. So it was the Frederick show in the second half. He had the hat trick.
Yes, it was. Tough on the ground. The O-line for Gulfport did a good job creating more space in that second half. Tide defensemen looked a bit tired. There's just no way around that. They were out there a lot tonight, Rick. You turn it over 4 times. Picayune, of course, everybody wants to win the turnover battle, but when you count on a high play snap count to kind of grind it out, those turnovers become even larger, especially when 2 come on kickoffs, and all that gets you to a 35-0 win for the visitors from Gulfport. You're in the middle of our Pearl River Community College post-game show. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. When we return, Rick will give you our rushing stats and passing accumulation for the Maroon Tide on the night. We'll return after this 1-minute break, and Slick will give you the numbers from the night.
Tim Craft Health Benefits, located at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune, inside Stewart Insurance Agency, is a locally owned and operated Medicare health plan and health insurance business serving Mississippi and Louisiana for 2 decades. Our 15-year presence in downtown Picayune ensures that important decisions such as your health care, your transition to Medicare, and your Medicare journey are made in person at our office with Tim and his staff. Our office is open Monday through Friday and offers our clients a location to visit for the initial appointment and service after the sale. We have health insurance plans to fit all situations and budgets, from ACA marketplace plans to off-exchange fully underwritten PPO policies. Tim can get you covered. Looking for the right Medicare plan? Tim is appointed with all the supplement, advantage, and prescription drug companies in Mississippi and Louisiana. And since every situation is different, we make sure that you choose the plan that best fits your needs. Consultations are always free. Schedule today at 601-273-0649 or stop by our office at 100 Highway 11 North in Picayune. Tim Craft Health Benefits, serving Mississippi and Louisiana for all your Medicare health plan needs. Making decisions on when and where to further your education is a big step in life, so let Pearl River Community College be the destination for you. Pearl River offers the first 2 years of any major and over 42 career and technical programs. They have 3 locations to better serve your educational needs. The Hancock Center at 454 Highway 90 Suite D in Waveland, the Forest County Center at 5448 Highway 49 South in Hattiesburg, and the main campus located at 101 Highway 11 North in Poplarville. Pearl River Community College. Roll, River, roll.
Slick, let's get a look at the rushing totals for the Maroon Tide as Gulfport has taken this one over our Maroon Tide 35-0 here from Lee Triplet Stadium. We'll wrap up our Pearl River Community College post-game show with your stats and final comments on tonight's ball game.
Yeah, Maroon Tide offensive unit, 36 rushes, 122 yards. Zay Dennis led the way with 23 carries, 83 yards. Kendall Jett was second, 5 rushes for 24 yards. And just one of those games, Clay, where, you hear people say the old adage a lot, and it kind of gets overused when people say, the score wasn't as bad. The game wasn't as bad as the score looked, but it really felt that way at times. I mean, it's a 7-0 ball game at the half, but, man, what we knew was the strength of this Gulfport team, the mistakes that we made, the turnovers really fed into that. It kept that defense fresh, and it kept our defense on the field more, took away from our offensive possessions. I mean, I think that's really sums it up.
Yeah, that's right. I was texting with a buddy, a common friend of ours, Rob Ford, and I was like, man, if we can just keep it for a while, maybe get them into 2 more turnovers than us. And that was the exact opposite of kind of what would be the game plan to beat this type of squad. And there's going to be nights like this. Unfortunately for the Tide, you can look at it 2 ways. Unfortunately, it falls on week 1. Or, hey, you didn't have this type of night against a district opponent. You've got a lot of film to learn from. You've got a young club eager, I think, to learn and to get better. And we'll see which way the Tide digest it. There's 2 different ways to kind of take this bit of medicine, and we'll find out kind of early next week in which way the young men and a coaching staff have digested tonight's result.
Yeah, you got a lot of football left to play here, and you said it, man, and I agree 100%. This one's going to sting. It's going to be more of a mental thing to get over because you got bested, and Gulfport earned it. They certainly came out and earned it. I think they came out with a chip on their shoulder to avenge the loss from last year. I mean, they played dominant, and they played a physical brand of football. You used to hear Kirby Smart would say the things when Georgia was rolling very well. He'd say, we can take a spread team and we can make them play ugly. Is what we can do. Like, we'll put our hand in the ground and just run the football. Gulfport did that tonight.
Yeah, they did, and very few times has a team looked like this. Only Triplet Stadium's turf in the second half, but Gulfport was able to do that tonight. A lot to be learned from for the Tide. We'll see how it plays out. We'll be right back at it, Rick. You and I will with our preview podcast. We'll get to visit with a former Division I coach and a coordinator at that level. He was actually at Southern Miss for a few years. Coach Duggan, a friend of Jason Baker, a common friend that we'll be able to visit with him and about his Jackson Academy club that's going to come to the Tide. What's odd about them, Rick, on a private school level, they started 2 weeks ahead of public. So Tide, we talk about that leap that you take from week 1 to week 2. We'll actually be their 4th opponent, which is a bit odd in that scenario, but a lot to be learned from tonight, a film that will be looked at and dissected. And the other side of this is, look, don't get it lost in this. I came close to saying it. You never want to say it about a state title team, but I knew what Gulfport had coming up in the ranks. I knew what had kind of you get a transfer back, maybe Biloxi's best player from a year ago. He's just an add-on piece. He was really good tonight. All I'm saying is I thought Gulfport may be better this year than they were last year, and they kind of proved that tonight. This is a real good club in front of us. I think
they looked at it, and then I'll just say this last thing in closing, too. If you're a Maroon Tide fan, don't push the panic button after this first game. I mean, we just got beat by a very, very good football team tonight and played pretty well, just didn't put 4 quarters together.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. And look, you want to buy stock when it's low. There's some of those sophomores, and particularly Foxworth. He had a couple plays not go his way. If you're selling stock on him, I'll buy it for a premium, as many of those sophomores will bounce back and compete hard. I've got all the confidence in the world in that. But tonight, Gulfport, the better squad, 35-0 here at Lee Triplet. That will do it for Ricky Whitaker and myself. Clay Sweet, Jackson Harrelson up on the camera. We certainly appreciate your your support until you hear from us again. Love God, love people.